What up, cappers, gamblers, punters, hustlers, low baggers? Happy Thursday, June 2nd to all of you. Thank you for watching Betting with the Bag right here on Pub Sports Radio. Capping is a cruel mistress, and I swept the board in MLB, and look, it's extremely important. It's so important on so many levels, but my winning streak in NHL came to a screeching halt, and there was many cappers in the chat that were so right about the game, and I was so wrong about the game. Especially Dan Bonner, who played sports. You could tell the way he talks and the continuity of the Rangers when I thought the two back-to-back 7-game series, and I gave maybe too much respect to this championship Tampa Bay Lightning squad that they would be able to step up. So it just never there's never a situation where you after a full day of capping you come back and you're like, oh, I was right about everything. I'm just so good. So I tell you, obviously, I mean, I bet $50 more per unit in NHL, and I moved on the Lightning -1 after the show. So, but in catching 6 bets in MLB, still I had a healthy day in the black. But all we care about here is capping in a way, unlike this pretty dicey business we're in, that's just really honest and transparent. So I can't come up here and talk about sweeping the board in MLB and not talk about going 0-2 in NHL. I also can't talk about sweeping the board in MLB and not talk about the fact that I'm still down 4.5 units on the season. So I'm 91 and 88 at 50.8% minus 4.51 units, ROI minus 2.52%, average line minus 106. I also don't think sweeping the board yesterday in MLB is as impressive as Jose Bouquett betting the Pirates all 3 games at Chavez Ravine and watching the Pirates sweep the Dodgers for the first time in over 20 years. But I can tell you one thing for sure. I'm so thankful to be here. I love this shit so much. I'm so thankful for the opportunity to cap with you guys every day. As you guys know, I was 16 and 27 to start the year in MLB, and I was down 14 units. I built back to a point where I was only down 3 units, and then I slipped again about a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. And then I hit a new low water mark at minus 16 units. So to be sitting here minus 4.51 units when the weather's getting hot and all our focus will soon be on MLB gives me great hope. And there's nothing more dangerous than a man with hope. And we have Game 2 of the Western Conference Finals in NHL with Mr. Gogster. Jose Bouquett, because on his show, he can't talk and break down the afternoon games because it starts at 5:30 p.m. He's going to break down the afternoon games here with me. And then Conor Mack's going to come in for the late game. So we got 2 different MLB cappers. I've already made 5 bets, although I've doubled up on 2 games. I've doubled up on the Tigers, and I've doubled up on the Marlins. Then we have Dutch Boy Fresh, who I know wants revenga after the tough Game 5, that he had with Mavs Warriors. So it's going to be really exciting to have Dutch Boy Fresh on the show. And as always, we have nothing without you guys in the chat. So shout out to all of you guys. Thank you so much for rolling with us right now. We have Viper NB 6-0 with the plays posted. I love that. Vipers on Rays money line in the Warriors minus 3.5. I'm also on the Warriors minus 3.5, and I'm very concerned that the line hasn't moved. I mean, it did move from the -3 opening, but it hasn't moved more than that. Mark Schillingberg in the house. I have been given a note from Jose, so this is going to kind of mess with my camera for you for a second, and I apologize for that. Let me just move it here. It's going to turn the brightness down. I'll move it down 5% and see if he gives me the thumbs up. That's 5%. Thumbs up. Okay, beautiful. Mark Schillingberg says, I was totally against the yesterday in the chat, but couldn't help myself and paid off Pirates. Nice job. Nice job. Jose leading by example. Mark Schillingberg's already on the Blue Jays first 5 -1/2. As you know, I'm betting the Blue Jays every single day to glory, on my way to glory. But I'm only going to bet them full game. I think that they're the best team in Major League Baseball. And I would rather have 9 innings than 5 innings if I'm going to bet it every single day. There's certainly double up spots in here. Maybe with Alek Manoah is one, but I'm not going to do it. Walla Walla Dose in the house. AOD ready to get to work. Yenny Tune on Spain. Plus 119 Yankees money line. Game 1 Warriors minus 3.5. AUD, thank you for the kind words. Paul Trippy says Pirates wrecking people's parlays since 2022. There's the t-shirt. Victor Abad in the house. Liberatore. It's going to be fun to watch him and the Redbirds today. The lefty on the bag. Chief ready to get to work. Walla Walla Dose says just one pick, you're going to stay hot. I wish I could. Look, if gambling was my sole source of income, I will go back to what I did on the Kershaw days, and I didn't have enough money to do it on the Kershaw days because I was only betting $500 on him every day. And if you remember those odds, I was making like $100 a game, $150 a game. And I believe that was back in 2017. But if gambling was my sole source of income, I would just put maybe 1,000. I'd figure out what kind of unit I could put on the Jays every day. Obviously, it would have helped if you started 7 games ago. But that would be the only bet I'd make every day. I would just sit back. I don't know. Go for a jog like Dennis Garcia. I don't know what else I'd do. But that would be the only thing I would do. De Niro says, glorious Tigers dub last night. Tariq Skubal. I mean, he is the ace of my rotation. Jose, he's the chance. He gives my team a chance for a wild card. AM, yeah,
you got an IL spot too because Drew Smiley just went on the IL, so spot open.
Raise it. You got to come in and do that 2 or 3 times. 2 or 3 times on today's show. Just say raise it. There's AM back in business with us, and what a casher it was. Cashed his barbecue sauce titty play of the day with the Rays. Solo Striker in the house, serious business, saturated, ready to go. Oakley Auxiliary here, ready to go. D. Jenkins, what a great group. Eric Jones, Coactus says, oh, kids, I've been watching hockey since the early 70s, but what do I know? I told you, Rangers, respect Coactus, enormous respect. Slatsy says after a 4-0 day, rough 0-3 day. And those are Slatsy's actions. Slatsy's on the first period, Oilers, Avs, both teams to score plus 110, and the Oilers team total over 3.5. I can't wait to talk about that game. We have just the man ready to do it. And he's also probably angry about what we saw last night. Great to see you. Mike M says return to normalcy. You is garbage again. Big win for St. Louis yesterday. Garbage might be a little harsh. Danny Lopez, Nasty Nate, Celtics trifecta. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is, says Nasty Nate. I'm certainly concerned that the market hasn't kept moving, but we'll have Dutch Boy Fresh here with us on that show. Jessica Easton in the house says great hockey game last night. The playoffs have been, I don't know if I'd call it great as my winning streak went down in flames. But I get it. I absolutely get it. Mississippi Whisper in the house. There is Dennis Garcia, probably fresh off a jog. He is in so many different levels. He is inspiring. And I did send him the Churchill Downs music video that came out yesterday. We knew the song was out, but the video came out yesterday. It premiered yesterday with Drake. And it made me more jealous than I've ever been in my whole life watching a music video. And I loved it. I loved every second of it. Jay Peasy says, best look I've seen today is Giants versus Miami. Miami coming back from Coors and can't hit lefties to save their lives. Alex Wood's not a tough lefty, but that scares me very much, Jay Peasy. And I am on the Marlins. But Alcantara is so dangerous. He's so dangerous. And AM going back with the titty play today on the Oilers. Well, let's talk about it. Saturated says, do we just blind bet the overs in the NHL moving forward? I can't bet the over here. You will notice that it went up to over 7 at minus 145 and has come back 10 cents in the last hour and a half. If these teams are just now, look, if these teams and their coaches and everybody on their team is just talking about defense, will that change the game? I don't have that answer. Spreadsheet play today in MLB is in from Ron Crawford. As I don't have that answer, sadly, I don't. Dennis says I want to play that under. I want to play the under. I want to play the under badly. Spreadsheet play today is the Rays. Let me just pop that here. But I don't know if I can do it Why don't we talk it out? Please welcome to the show from Belleville, Ontario, Mr. Gogster in the house. Mr. Gogster, how are you, my man?
Oh, it's been better. That day wasn't as good as we were hoping for. My apologies, guys. Got to be transparent. Really didn't see that one coming. Other than actually at the end of the show, Jimmy, I said the only issue may be Vasilevsky coming off 8 days rest, and well, look at that. He got lit up, and just the Rangers guys. They're looking like that team. They remind me of St. Louis in a way, Jimmy, with Binghamton. It's just Durkin being, I think, a lot better than Binghamton, but just carrying the team, just absolutely carrying the hockey team. And it's going to be different. Tomorrow will be a great show. I'll be watching tomorrow's show with Babano because I'm really loving that series. I think Tampa Bay, they haven't lost back-to-back guys since, I think, 2018, something like that, when they got swept against Columbus. So it should be a great game. But this series here, guys, this is as you like to say, Jimmy, a dice game, a real dice game here. Let's talk her out, guys, because this is going to be a tough cap, as we say here.
AM says, as a former goalie, the Avs are screwed tonight. Kemper's questionable. If he plays, he's dealing with an eye injury still, and now another upper body injury. Look, I'm not that high on Kemper. I don't think Francouz is a big drop-off at all. And there's been times where I thought Francouz was a good enough goalie to lead this team, and his injuries have gotten in the way. And thank God they made replacements available because he's injury prone. Let's talk it out, because I don't think this is difficult. I don't care. Again, Kemper's not that good. It's the team in front of him that's so good. And they are rolling 4 lines, and 4 lines are scoring. And if they shore up their defense, I don't think they can be stopped. AM says Kemper pulled himself in the last game at commercial and didn't practice. Woodcroft also knows Francouz very well from the AHL.
Very a valid fact there. Thank you for bringing that up. Bakersfield Commodores, that would have been Edmonton with the coach, and then Colorado had their that's where Francouz would have been for a long time. So that's a very good angle. Francouz, guys, he's 9-1-1 at home this year, and that's the regular season, but still, he's a solid home goalie. Even with those numbers, despite being at home, he's 15-5-1. He looked kind of, it was an unexpected start, I think, for him getting thrown in there. He didn't look nearly as good. Edmonton was really throwing the kitchen sink at him too, down 7-3. So how I see this game going, Jim, is I'm a little cold feet on the under just because of last night, guys, but I'm kind of with you on the under. I think one thing with the Oilers, I haven't even talked about this, Jimmy, is you got to throw Koskinen in my opinion. I think you got to throw Koskinen in. I might be on my own island there, but he looked a lot better in that start. When he came in, he gave them a couple saves when they needed it. And coming back, 7-3, 7-4, 7-5, 7-6, they almost came back. And it was those couple saves that Kemper was given Koskinen was given Edmonton. Koskinen on the road this year, he's 12-6-3. This is their goalie that took him in the regular season that got him all the wins, guys. 27-12 in the regular season. That's Koskinen, Mikko Koskinen. So these are the two goalies I would think would be more towards an under for sure. Would be Francouz and Koskinen. Now if Smith goes, he's had a bounce back or two in the series against the LA Kings, but this is a completely different beast in the Colorado Avalanche. So if Smith goes, I really don't know what to do here because I want to take Edmonton. I want to take the unders. If Koskinen's in, that's where I'm leaning towards here, guys, is the unders and Edmonton. But I could see it going on either way here. I can make a case for Colorado too, that they're just how Edmonton's defense doesn't scare me a lot, Jim. Just it doesn't instill a lot of fear. Kulak and Barry too, going up against his former team, right, Jimmy? He used to play for Colorado there, Barry, for a long time. So he's going up against his former team here. That's advantage, I'd say, Tyson Barrie and the Oilers on that factor. So I'm without humming and hawing too much here. I would definitely, and AM says Kostin could be a starter on another team. He's 6'7" in net. The guy's a monster in net too. That's tough getting a puck by a guy 6'7". And he did look good in relief last game. He's had one game too, Jimmy, in game against Calgary. He didn't look as good, 32 saves on 32 shots. So give him another shot. I think Koskinen can be the guy that's going to get them the win here. I haven't made any action. I haven't made any plays yet, but more I'm talking about it. I want to probably play, to be honest, Edmonton first period here. I also lean towards no goal in the 10 minutes. What do you think, buddy?
Well, first off, I love the breakdown. Secondly, Julian Cesario, low bagger in our chat. His movie, Amy, the trailer has just been released. I'm going to pop it here in the chat for you guys just to take a look at your leisure. But it looks really good, and he's a great actor. And I just want to give a shout out to Julian Cesario. We have so many talented low baggers in the chat and low bag fam. And I'm going to tweet out the movie today, Julian, because it was Jose that told me. He's like, "Do you see Julian's movie?" And I was like, "No, I hadn't seen it." So want to give a shout out to Julian Cesario. Respect, my friend. Secondly, Western Conference Final, the highest scoring game in 37 years. So high scoring that, Gretzky was like getting the shakes, watching no defense being played. He was uncomfortable with it.
Happened against Calgary too, Jim. 9-6 in that first game.
My pleasure. I will, Paco. Absolutely. The Oilers have lost the first game in each round of the playoffs. Does it show this, the heart and soul of this team, or are they just not that good? And I will say they're just not that good. And when the Hurricanes lost Game 7, they hadn't won one game on the road all playoffs. Why should anybody have faith in this 100%. Hockey team? And look, the Hurricanes and Oilers are good hockey teams, but they're not great hockey teams. And we're getting to the point now in the playoffs where the great hockey teams will go on and win Stanley Cups. As I said before, I think the Blues would have beaten the Oilers.
I agree 100%.
So, look, we all watched this game, and we've heard every coach and every person on the team saying we're going to focus more on defense. Do you believe that they're capable of doing that? And I don't really have the answer for that. McDavid, 29 points. Draisaitl, 28 points in the playoffs. Evander Kane with his league-leading 13 goal in the playoffs. Cale Makar now in very, very sweet company here. 6th career 3-point playoff game before he's 23 years old. So the only two other defensemen have done that before 24. Paul Coffey did it 10 times. Ray Bourque 6 times. That's who Cale Makar's in. So
the Brooks Bandits, Cale Makar.
Yeah, he's absolutely. He's a monster. So my feeling here is that I don't.
That's what I say when I say it's a tough cap. I can make cases on either side. Like that was regular season numbers, though. We're really going off of from Francouz and Koskinen. The sample size is so low from these two goalies. Francouz did play 2 games against Nashville, Jimmy, on the road. That's Nashville. 18 saves on 20 shots, 28 saves on 31 shots. The more shots, I feel like. For Francouz, I'm not too sure. He's got a right-hand glove too. I lean towards Edmonton. More I'm talking about this, I might be firing first period full game on Edmonton. I really might.
I'm very confident on the Avalanche. I bet them as soon as the game is over. I don't care if Francouz is in net and not Kemper. What I know is that the Avalanche are just a better team. Now, Rem Most is right. When he says the Hurricanes don't have the best player in the world on their team.
Facts.
The Hurricanes don't have a top 5 player on their team. They probably, Sebastian Aho is not a top 10 player, which I did think he was. And Svechnikov is maybe not a top 20 player after that horrific performance where all he did was one breakaway. And that was only place you could see him all year. So we're talking about a team where you have a top 5 player in the NHL, and with Makar's rise, maybe you have 2. Maybe Makar and McKinnon are both top 5 players in the NHL. So I just think so. I'm very confidently on the Avalanche -1 here. with no
I know.
points.
Well, sorry, Jim. One more point I
Yeah.
want to bring up. Just that the way that game finished is my big problem too for Colorado. 7-3, you're up, and you allow them to come back like that. That's only confidence going towards Edmonton. They know they lost that game, but fuck, they know they can come back. Francouz too. He gave up 3 goals in that relief, I believe. Here, yeah, he gave up 3 goals there. Francouz, 2.75 expected goals. It's a kind of like the Rangers there. The moment, like even though they lost, Edmonton had the momentum from that last game, guys. And if Koskinen's going, that's who they want. That's who made those couple saves that got them back in that game. They just got behind too much when Smith just did not look good. So I'm hoping if Koskinen's, I'm not going to pull the trigger pretty much, guys, until I know Koskinen's in net. If he's in net, I'm going to trust that he can take him get him the W here. If Smith's in net, I'm going to have to wait and think it out a little more here, Jim, because I don't like Smith. I can't back Smith right now.
Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do here. I'm going to move. So I'm already on the Avalanche -1. I bet that after the game. I tweeted it out after the game. I'm going to add the first period under 2 at plus money.
Under 2 first periods plus money?
Yes, it's at plus money. The under 1.5 is at plus 185. The under 2.5 is at minus 175. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take the first period under 2, and maybe that's look. I don't want to sit here and have $400 on this game going under, but I'd be comfortable having $200. Actually, I'd probably be more comfortable having $150. And if I was going to double up, if there is a 7.5 that comes on the board, which I was sitting there hoping for when I saw minus 145, maybe then I cut it down to 150 and take the full game under 7.5 too. But that's what I will do, and I don't know if I'm gonna bet 200 or 150 on it. I don't know yet. I'm leaning towards 150, but I'm gonna take the first period under 2 at plus money, and I'm gonna add that.
Have you ever heard of an under 2 at plus money, Jim? In my days, I don't think I ever have.
I've never in my life.
I almost want to tail that with you, buddy. I think that's a great play. You need 3 goals to lose. You need 2-1. I don't see 3-0 from one of them, but.
Well, even after the 15-goal Oilers Flames game 1, it was 4-4 after second period in game 2, but it was 1-0 after the first period.
Exactly.
So yes, I'm gonna take the first period under 2 at plus money, and I agree with Dennis Garcia. Now, Dennis Garcia, of course, is using numbers to back up his arguments, which is why he's such a great capper. But I agree. I think that Smith is more than capable of bouncing back here. You know, he's a veteran goalie. He can step up in situations, and he can also be a sieve. But I think that he's more than capable, and I would, without a doubt, go to Mike Smith in game 2. I think you have the perfect situation here where if Smith gets lit up, you can put Koskinen in and then put Koskinen in game 3. I think if you put Koskinen in game 2, Woodcroft is panicking. And the last thing you want to do is panic in front of the boys.
But I just feel like that's their best chance to win is if I could be – Dennis would completely disagree with me here, but I think their best chance to win is going to be with Koskinen.
I disagree with that as well.
That's my hockey eye. We'll see how that works.
I think Koskinen is so bad that they were when Mike Smith had a .903 save percentage. They were like, "Come on, Mike, we need you, baby.
Mikey boy.
We need you." Instead of saying Koskinen, it's your team, they were saying, "No, I do not trust Koskinen against this high flying Avalanche team." But you also don't want to show any panic. So we know that everybody. Fireside says Oilers are plus 150 with Francouz is a gift. I don't agree with that at all, and that's part of the fun. Remember, us not agreeing on things is part of the fun of capping together, and it's good. It's exciting. There's no harm, no foul. We can always be on different sides and say why we're on different sides and all that. But we don't usually talk about the cash in these games. But here you guys go. Just so you know, there's 9,192 tickets in, and this comes as no surprise. And I haven't even looked at it yet. I try not to. Only 26% of the tickets are on the under, but 45% of the cash. We know the public's going to be all over the over. And the Sharps are going to be all over the under. And the Sharps were all over the Browns, 3 years ago?
How'd that work out?
Poorly. So I'm not saying the Sharps are right here. We knew before that this would be the situation. Fireside said no one agreed with my Rangers -1.5 either. I love this agreement. Yeah, Fireside, that was a gorgeous bet. And AOD did agree with it. Remo said last game Smith didn't let in any bad goals. All those shots were lasers, top shelf, not man rushes on perfect passing plays.
No, I could be on an island here, guys. I completely get it. I'm looking at his numbers. Yeah, I see it. He's 0-3-3, 1-3, then 4-6 in his last couple. I got to see more. Like I'm not just going to say, hey, you know what, I'm going to think he's going to turn it on again. My last couple games, guys, I don't like it. Like what I've seen, he's going to have another game on the road, bounce back. I get you guys. I get you. It was a rough day for myself. My notes there, my first thing I had written down yesterday after taking too many numbers into account was the Rangers. That's what I liked. First thing I wrote down today was no goal in the first 10 minutes, for what that's worth, guys. That was the first thing I wrote down. I didn't play it. It's +1. It was +175. It went down to +150 now in the morning. So that was my first gut feel. As if you guys like that, sometimes people say, what's your first look? What's your first gut feel? That's where I was looking towards. No goal first 10 minutes. That's with Costin and Francouz. Going as the game goes on, I like what I saw from Edmonton in game one. 7-3 came all the way back there. 7-6.
First goal, no goal, first 10 minutes.
Yeah,
it's +195.
All right, give it to me.
Well, I didn't mean to say that to give it to you. I just wanted to be clear that it's not +150.
What book's that at?
This is at Bet365.
Really?
First 10 minutes. They had to move the total to 1.5 on the main page.
I see that.
So they had to move. So that's the alternate total because of how high scoring these games have been. I didn't say that for you to move on it right away. You take your time and all that, whatever. I just like
if you're looking at value, like
I love the bet.
+195 is just getting like I've been doing this long. Give me that, Jim. Give me no goal in the first 10 minutes at +195. Guys, you're getting +195. You lose that one, you can put half a unit on it to make a full unit. So it's not like you're not getting too invested too. Jimmy too, that under 2 in the first period, I like that as well. That I couldn't make as many cases against that compared to say the side with the goaltenders and but when it comes to the first period, I like that. Yeah, I love give me the first 10 minutes. I like it.
I don't like if I take first period under 10 minutes, first period under 2, and the under 7.5, if it comes available, well then now I want to bet $100 on each bet. I did that yesterday. For transparency's sake, I'm not going to have $400 on the under in different variations of it under any circumstances. I would like 300 and less. 300 is my limit if I'm going to be moving on these unders. But look, I love it. Bookmaker has no goals first 10 minutes at +179. He says, so that's a nice line. And then he says, I'd never, ever bet that. Look, this is the way capping works.
It sounds crazy. Like you just think that, at any point in time, McDavid could just fly down. But I'm rocking and roll. I'm sorry, I'm on this show to give you guys all these stats, insights, and trades and all this good stuff. Everyone in our chat, you can't, deny our chat. It's one of the best chats probably on the goddamn YouTube hemisphere. But even Billy here, Billy Friedrich's been a long time supporter here. He's even saying a little yikes there. But you know what, guys, think of your boy Gogster when that hits. It's funny, the confidence, but when I was in Vegas for the first time, Jimmy, I made a sports bet, and I go up to the guy and say, where do I collect when I win? He just looks at me and starts laughing. And he just goes, come back to me, buddy. We'll see. I didn't end up coming back to him, right? But the confidence was ultra high.
My buddy is in Vegas right now. Johnny Catucci is from You Gotta Eat Here on the Food Channel.
Oh, yeah.
And he was at a poker game and he was doing poker games. Like, I'm going down to Vegas tomorrow night. And I was like, blind bet the Blue Jays. Don't look at anything. Blind bet them with as much money as you can every day. He's like, come on. And I was like, don't even look at any stats. Don't look at anything. Blind bet them and go to the pool. And he's been messaging me every night. I've paid for his Vegas trip. So I have balls. And I like your. Is that your only look right now? First period under 10 minutes at +195.
Well, I appreciate it, Cactus. Yeah, I'm pulling the trigger. I'm pulling the trigger on no goal first 10 minutes. Now, if Smith's in net, we'll. I hope you guys in the chat are right when you say Mike Smith's, has the bounce back. I'm a little, shaky feet with it, but I also do think Edmonton does get it done, and I'm not too sure how Francouz is going to do. This is a bigger game in my opinion than for Koskinen. I think this is Francouz. It's a huge game for Francouz. Because think of this, guys, if Kemper's not going to be good and Francouz gets fucking teed up here, and he has to go to Edmonton in game 3 because Kemper's not right. There's problems there big time. So this is a big game for Francouz. Big game
for sure. But I think he's fine. With my 2 losses, I'm now 19-12 in the playoffs, 61.3% plus 8.27 units, ROI plus 26.68%, average line plus 105. I'll be on the Avalanche. I'm on the Avalanche -1, but I'll be on the first period under 2 at plus money here shortly. Remo says Kemper out for sure. No, he's not out for sure. He's not confirmed to be out. It's just we expect him to be out.
Yeah,
but that's not being confirmed.
I saw a beat writer say it was looking muddy for what that's worth. He said a little muddy, so that's not clear, I guess you could say.
And there's Dan Bonner, and we gave you a shout out, or I gave you a shout out off the top. You were very confident in the Rangers and in the situation, and you were spectacularally right, and I was horrifically wrong.
This guy's great. Assist too, like that's exactly the way you want to look. He's not. If anything, I don't know if he's hurt, Jim. I saw one of them saying he's a little banged up, Draisaitl, right? He's banged up, but he can still sauce that puck to whoever, McDavid, you name it, whoever it may be. So I love that assist. Look, it is a little high, but yeah. Man,
Ergo Cossack's Lightning to win it all moved from plus 270 to plus 385. I don't see how the Avalanche aren't the Stanley Cup champions this year. I just don't see.
Well, you know what? I goaltending. It could be like when they had Hutchinson as their goalie a couple years ago.
No, it's not going to be like when they had Hutchinson as their goalie. I remember that like it was yesterday against the Stars.
I'm just saying, Francouz. I got to see how Francie does here.
If Francouz was not hurt in that series against Dallas, the Avalanche go on. That was horrific.
He's looked good. His numbers have looked good. 9-1 at home. He 2 good games against Nashville. Just that last game against Edmonton, a real high flying team that was desperate. And they're going to be desperate again, down 1-0. Let's see how he does. Pucks are going to be coming in hot.
I have you listed for under a half goal first 10 minutes plus 195. If you add anything, please tag me in a tweet, my friend, and let's get that cash. Big Timer says Rangers look just as good. Look, the Rangers have gone up against 2 backups and a team that was being off for 9 days. I will be on Tampa Bay Lightning tomorrow on the -1 line. I haven't bet it yet. Look, I don't like road favorites, but there's no doubt they'll be on Tampa Bay Lightning.
The series doesn't start to the home team's got to go on the road. So wait till the Rangers go on the road. See how they do in Tampa Bay. That'll tell me if they're going deep.
For me, the next game will tell me a ton. Braden Point has been skating poorly.
Did you see what happened? Apparently, he went into the boards pretty hard there. He was skating around and took a good spill there and went and
I read that. Not good.
No,
not good. I like this. I can't wait. It's fun being on other sides. It's fun. It just makes it more fun. Obviously, we'll come back tomorrow and see who is right. And it makes.
Well, we'll get the unders. We're on the same side in the under there. First period under, guys. Me and Jimmy are on par with that. We'll just we'll see how the rest of the game goes on. You got Toronto versus Belleville here.
I'd like to add Gogster's play to say, hey, record as well.
Jose, I love you, Jose, but I hope you don't jinx me, buddy, because I swear to Christ.
Okay, I'll go fuck myself then, Gog.
I love Jose. I really do, but I think I have like a book, and there's been like 7 of them where Jose has jumped on them. I love you, Jose. I just please just stay off it.
Oh no. Anybody who was thinking of tailing Gogster, do not do it now. Do not.
No, Taylor. I'm just saying.
I'm gonna already add the loss to your spreadsheet. I'm gonna already add the loss to your spreadsheet, Gogster. Very, very funny. Very funny. Okay, there you have it. It's time to break down MLB. The Say Hey and Gogster plays of the day. Under a half goal in the first 10 minutes at plus 195. Jeffrey Moore says over 7.5 plus 110. I'm tempted to make a big bet on it.
I love you.
And Remo says Jose's a winning capper. Show some respect. He is very.
I
much
know.
a winning
I know.
capper.
Listen to me, all
Very
fucking like
much a winning
hothead
capper.
here. You know, I'm the losing capper, so I should be listening to Jose. You're right.
I love you, Gogster. I love you, Gogster. We will see you again next Wednesday, my man. And let's get that cash. Tweet out
Be
this
good.
action, and if you add anything, just like tag it to the tweet and hit me.
Always be good, guys. Take care.
Be well. Leonard Porch Jr. says Jose's red hot. I wouldn't want to be against him. Yeah, I don't know if does that count as Gogster being against him? I don't know what that was. That was jarring. That was jarring. But we're doing something a little different today in MLB. And as you know, Jose called the Pirates to sweep the Dodgers, which was ass nuts. And his show is at 5:30 p.m., so he doesn't get to talk about afternoon baseball. So we decided to bring him in from the bullpen to break down the MLB card with us. I'm coming off a 6-0 day in MLB board sweepage. Felt very good. Phillies first 5 minus 125 cashed. Blue Jays minus 1 plus 109 cashed. Tigers first 5 minus 105 cashed. Tigers full game plus 100 cashed. Shout out to Treek Scuball, my favorite pitcher in the league. Atlanta, Arizona first 5 under 4.5 minus 120 cashed. And Minnesota, Detroit under 7.5 minus 115 cashed. God damn, did I need that? And look, I'm not in the black like Jose is. I'm 91 and 88, 50.8% plus or minus 4.51 units, ROI minus 2.52%, average line minus 106. Please welcome to the show. Star of Say Hey Plays of the Day, all one whole Bouquett. Jose, how are you?
I can't believe Gogster just slanders me like that. Unbelievable. I thought Canadians were nice. It's a broadside out of nowhere. My God, I just feel like I got back-checked into the boards.
That was the blindsider. Yeah, I didn't see it coming either. No respect. So, quickly give us a review of what happened yesterday and what your record stands at.
That's an excellent question, Jim. That is an excellent question. We had a winning day. I pulled some wins out of my ass. Well, not really out of my ass. I mean, I pulled a push out of my ass. That's the thing that really changed my day. I had the Cubs first 5 money line, and everything's rolling fine. Of course, the professor gives up a couple runs, and then I got lucky. My man, my Venezuelan king, Wilson Contreras, gets in a tying run. I get the push there. So after that, I was like, all right, well, something is in the water today. And those motherfuckers, man, the fucking buckos. And Jim, I texted in the group this last night, and my eyes are gonna start watering when I say this too. I wish I could have told or recorded and shown everyone the reaction on my face when I learned that my fucking guy, Tapita, whatever the fuck, Marcano, is from Venezuela. I wish you guys could have seen my fucking face. I had no idea at all. And it was great. What do I always say, Jim? What do I always say? You always bet on Venezuela. It's hilarious. And of course, Jim, I said if they win, they complete the sweep, I'd get the jersey. Of course, I bought the jersey. I bought the pizza jersey. And again, that was before I even knew he was from Venezuela too. So, and you'll be shocked to find out how hard it is to find his jersey to purchase. You would be surprised. You would be pleasantly surprised how hard it is to find that guy's jersey. But hopefully I did, and hopefully I did not fall for some black market website. Who knows?
I love the story. I can't believe you called the first sweep by the Pirates at Chavez Ravine in over 20 years.
How old was I, Jim, when that happened? 97?
5.
3 years old. Oh, God. Shout out to everyone that is in the chat right now that I just made feel like an old man there. 97, 2000. Yeah, 3 years old. I think I was a year or two into this country too. So,
well, I'll make you feel better about yourself. I graduated high school in 1997.
Yeah, so a lot of big things for us that year. I stepped foot in America potentially, and you walked the stage. Who knows?
Let's get to work, Jose. We got afternoon baseball in front of us. When we get past the afternoon games, we have Conor Mack joining us. By the way, Conor Mack has a superlative record. He's leading the way for our MLB cappers. Conor Mack 8-4, but his average line is plus 113. So he's plus 5.07 units with an ROI of 42.25%. You have been excellent as well. And we'll talk about your overall record and your special guest here shortly, but let's get right to work. We start at 1:05 p.m. Eastern, game 1 of the double dip. We're going to talk about both games of the double dip off the top here. Los Angeles Angels, 27-23, 12-10 on the road at the New York Yankees, 34-15, 18-7 at home. We're at Yankee Stadium in the Bronx. We're going to start with the weather here. Oops, sorry, that just went. Let me fix that here. We're going to start with the weather in the Bronx. It is 77 Fahrenheit at first pitch and very little wind early, 2.6. It moves up to 3.9. It does close at 7.7 miles per hour out to left field, but very little wind to start the game. Let's take a look at the line history. And, God, I'm just so excited that I've fixed this horrific start. Almost fixed the horrific start. I don't have the line history up here, so why don't we just go to the cash flow? I'll get the line history up here shortly. For cash flow in game 1 of the double dip, Ohtani versus Nestor Cortes, 5,157 tickets in, 67% of the tickets and 77% of cash on the Yankees. Then 46% of tickets, 66% of cash on the under. Let me just get this up here. I thought I had it up, so let me just pull it up here.
I'll tell you, when I made the graphics this morning, it was plus 108 for the Angels. It's now even money. It seems like everyone's seen Ohtani at plus money, and it's starting to go.
Yeah, at Bet365, it opened at 1:17 a.m. at plus 105, went down to plus money, went down to even money, then went back to plus 105 at 9:13 in the morning, and 30 minutes ago went back to plus 100. So it's been a 5-cent move towards the Angels. This total at 9:13 a.m. moved to 7, opened at 7.5. And it moved to 7. Ohtani coming off that start against the Blue Jays, that the big ragu so perfectly called, a loss for Ohtani. 6 innings, 6 hits, 5 earned runs, 2 homers, 10 Ks, 1 walk in that 6-3 loss at home to the Jays. 3.45 ERA, 1.04 whip, 63 Ks and 44 in the third with 10 walks, has allowed 5 home runs. Nestor Cortes has been lights out. In his last start, it was a 7-2 win at the Rays. He went 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, no homers, 5 Ks, and 1 walk, 1.70 ERA, 0.85 whip on the year. Angels versus lefties, 255, 718 OPS. Yankees versus righties, 242, 722 OPS. Angels bullpen has struggled, 4.09 ERA, 1.19 whip. Same whip as the Yankees, but way harder hits allowed by the Angels. Yankees just a 3.11 ERA and have converted 17 of 24 saves. I have not moved on this game. I've made 5 bets, but just on 3 games. Here we go. Jose Bouquett, game 1 of the double dip, Angels, Yankees. Take it away.
Well, I'll give you good news. I think this doubleheader is only going to be 1 game, and it's only going to be this game. There's some inclement weather coming, so I'll warn you of that now. But as of this game, I want to move on this game. I really do. And I haven't moved on any of these morning games yet. Maybe it's just to say, hey, instincts of me saying that don't move on these early games yet. I don't know. I have not gotten on it yet. But I have a very, as you want to call it, vividness bias. I just remember Ohtani coming into the Bronx last time, and he doesn't even complete an inning. I don't know if it was nerves, whatever you want to call it, but 4 walks, 7 earned runs, 2 hits that day, 0.2 innings pitched. I mean, Nestor's been phenomenal this year. We all know I'm his cousin. Shout out to Noli Knows. I'm glad to see he's in the chat after just a brutal sweep by the Buccos. By the way, I did in fact add the Jolly Roger to the background too. I mean, come on, we like I said, we always raise it here. So as I was saying. And by the way, the Chavez Ravine is now called the Pirates Cove. I want to let you guys know that. Pirates Cove. It's officially been changed of ownership. Against lefties, these Angels been hitting really well. I changed my splits down. New month, obviously. So we're going from the 15th to now, from June 15th or whatever month we were in, May, whoever knows, to now 120 weighted runs created plus against lefties, 11th in the league. The Angels are, while the Yankees cold are these Yankees. It's a little weird. I don't know. I mean, their injuries obviously coming in, and maybe that shine and that luster off of that New York Yankee ALS lead, or AL East lead is going to be coming through here. But 20th are the Yankees against righties, 92 weighted runs created plus. So I'm going to pass here. Ultimately, I think this is just a more fun game to watch than to bet at the end of the day. So,
yeah, I feel it takes me back to what Pistol Pete Loshak always says about these weighted coin flips. It certainly feels like a weighted coin flip in this spot. And there's some great spots, I believe, on the board, although Jay Peasy thinking that the Marlins are a straight fade after coming back from Colorado does make me nervous. Fireside on the first 5 under. Do you agree with this market move from 7.5 down to 7?
I mean, look at the names, that's all you got to say. Look at the names. Nestor, arguably Cy Young leader right now in the American League. Ohtani, he's everyone's favorite pitcher, everyone's favorite guy now. And just remember, Jim, I want you to remember who was there first. Who was there first last year groping him?
You have some strange affinity for Asian men, though. Remember, we figured that out.
I do. G-Man Choi yesterday was phenomenal. He got a game-winning hit for the Rays yesterday. It was great. I love them all. Seiya Suzuki, who I tried to chase very much for the Red Sox, and now he's always hurt on the Cubs. So
I don't have an angle here that I really want to attack.
Yeah, I mean, if you go in first 5 under, the issue is the 3.5, which 2 months ago when balls were super juice or super dead, and when hint they probably switched out the balls. I would assume that back then it's easier to take it, but now in Yankee Stadium, all it takes is a walk and a Trout or a Ohtani home run, 2 runs, and you're like, oh, okay, well, I'm kind of fucked here. So I'm ultimately staying off. This is a much, much better game to watch than to bet on, for sure. And by the way, I will mention, because now this comment has me thinking now, and I'm hungry as well, Jim. Billy Friedrich talking about at Epa's, Jim. I told you we didn't have time for this because unfortunately the Kraken takes over sometimes. We were supposed to have a little dinner at my place, and at Epa's would have been served. And let me tell you, my final meal when I die is going to be my mom's empanadas, and I'll just gorge myself. I eat like a child, so I only eat cheese empanadas and cheese at Epa's, but that's just me. But shout out to them.
Well, the on your deathbed, usually not a huge appetite, but I think that is a beautiful story you tell. Let's move on to game 2 here of the Angels-Yankees. We've seen a huge market move towards Jameson Taillon. We all made money off of him in that 2-0 win at the Rays last out. We talked about that draft class with the Enciso Culver. His name has been coming up on our show. He was who the Yankees drafted in that beautiful draft class. So Bryce Harper, Jameson Taillon, Manny Machado, and the Yankees take their shortstop of the future, Enciso Culver, in that first round. And Asher Wojciechowski also was drafted in that first round. A lot of interesting names in that first round.
Is that the same draft that they drafted the guy that stole a bunch of shit and then stole it, tried to sell it, and then got caught doing that this year? Is that the same draft?
Yeah, I wonder if he was in that class.
That was 2018. I think that was
okay. No, we're talking way back. We're talking.
So just another draft. Oh, wow. Whoops.
The Taint play of the day is in. Shout out to Matty Ice. We will discuss that look. So we have spreadsheet play today and Taint play today both in. And let me just set that up here. I came very close to moving on that game. I did not. I was going to talk it out with you guys instead. Thank you for sharing that with us. Taint. Eddie Euler says game 2 may be a rain out. You were talking about.
I think it will be.
You think it will be? Okay.
Yeah, 61% rain on RotoWire, and it's red. So that usually means it's donezo.
That does usually mean it's donezo. But there still has been a huge move towards Taillon in this game. It was 30 cents a while ago.
I mean, I understand. It's Reed Detmers. Reed Detmers sucks. Shout out to him for throwing a no-hitter, but, it's fade Reed Detmers from here on out until everyone realizes how bad he is.
I'd like to take Taillon, but I guess the weather is such a huge issue that we can just move on past
You
it.
can take
but
him tomorrow when he goes.
Yes, and I do want to back Tyon as much as possible. In this situation, though, Jose, you have Tyon, who's looking very strong right now, 2.49 ERA, 1.01 WHIP. Do you have fear backing him? Do you have fear backing any righty against the Angels? You know, we saw what they did to Alek Manoah. That was Alek Manoah's worst start of the year, even though it wasn't a bad start. It's still a quality start. But do you have any fear about righties going up against the Angels and maybe not worth betting at favorite odds?
It depends. If you're gonna take them, you're thinking like a -1. It always like I'm not taking the -150. Obviously, I know you're not gonna take the -150. But yeah, I don't have any fear about backing Jameson. I've said it. I think Nestor and Tyon are the best pitchers in this rotation. I mean, Garrett Cole's fighting for third or fourth with him and Severino, who can barely throw 5 innings, keep his elbow together. So I mean. This is a hot take. This Yankees squad's pretty good. It turns out if they can keep their bats healthy, which is seemingly not the case, and if they can keep their third baseman from saying some maybe explicit things, they'll keep their locker room together and perhaps have a good year. But you have your Blue Jays who are coming for their ass. The Rays are always there, and then the Red Sox are middling in whatever they're doing. So I think that today, if the Yankees play today, I think they're both good bets. And the Angels are what Noli said is true. They're starting off hot, which we're all kind of excited about, but now is kind of when the time is coming for their arms. Have the depth, bullpen, starters, all those guys. And I'm sorry, but Reed Detmers. Again, I just don't think he's very good at the end of the day, and he's going to keep getting pushed back because they know he's not that good.
I love it. Let's move on to a double up spot for me. 2 double up spots on the board for me, and here's one of them: 1:10 p.m. Eastern. I'm on the Tigers first 5 in full game yet again. I love these young pitchers that the Tigers have, and Faedo would be a big part of the rotation if he didn't have to deal with the Tommy John surgery, and he's a late addition to this group, and I think he is very good. I think he's good, and I don't think Chris Archer has it anymore, and I'm very comfortable fading Chris Archer. Chris Archer coming off a 7-3 loss at home versus the Royals. He only goes 4 innings, allows 5 runs, just 3 of which were earned, and I've doubled up here, and I know that the Tigers are hitting 216, 603 OPS versus righties. It's atrocious, but their bullpen is so good. Faedo is good, and I believe in him very much, and I just want to back him here. Let's talk about weather, and we'll talk about all situations market-wise, and then hand it over to Jose. 64 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 1.9 miles per hour out to left field. It picks up a little bit, like 4.75, but then it becomes right to left, and it's really not an issue. We go over to the line movement here in this Twinkies Tigers spot. We have a 5-cent move at 11:30 towards the Twins, and then it came back. I'm surprised I missed that because I got plus 110. I didn't get the plus 115. They said the move was at 10:39 a.m. I must have just missed that. By a few minutes because I got the plus 110. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 8. It was there for 3 hours and then moved to 8.5. And the 8.5's gone up as high as minus 120, but it's at minus 115 right now. So the total has moved towards the over. We have 2 teams. We have 2 teams with full line value from Sports Insights. We have 2 teams, or really 4 teams with half. The Tigers are one of those teams with half line value in this spot. 7,427 tickets in. 35% of the tickets, 36% of the cash on the Tigers. So that was different. I believe that was something like 30 and 40 or 42 before. So money's coming in on the Twins and Archer. 57% of tickets, 55% cash on the over. The Twins are hitting 245 versus righties, but just 719 OPS. They don't have a ton of power, and I'm just confident here with these Tigers. There's some talk about the lineup. Let's talk about this lineup. It's confirmed. Castro, Willie Castro is at center, and then we have at short Harold Castro. So we have both Castros there off the top of the lineup. Scope, Cabrera, Torkelson, Cody Clemens, and you have that great picture with his father on your Twitter
Yeah,
page?
actually, I don't remember which one of his children was there because it was one of them at watching. It was for the big like Final Four. It was actually Derrick Rose's Final Four with Memphis. I remember that with Mario Chalmers. But yeah, it was a big dinner, and Cody, Colby, or the other one was there with the whole Salem Red Sox team. So it was a good time.
Noli knows on the under. Eric Jones on the under. And for the Twinkies lineup, Arraez, Buxton, Kepler, Polanco, Larnach, Sanchez, Gordon, Ursula, and Palacios. Take it away here. I've double dipped on the Tigers, a team I've really started to fall in love with. Take it away.
Is it the proximity? Is that a factor of why you like them?
Yeah, I love Detroit. I love the city. I love going to the ballpark. I love Comerica. I'd much rather see a game in Detroit than see a game in an atrocity at the Rogers Center.
I still want to stay in the hotel. I still want to just enjoy a baseball game and just enjoy a hotel room. I guess I don't know. I've never thought about that, but that's definitely a fact. I don't hate your look here for sure. I'm not a big Archer guy. I think he falls into the he's in the middle of the Martin Perez, Jose Quintana, old guy that I thought was washed, but has been pitching better than expected. He's not to the Quintana Perez level. You get those pigeons. I don't know if he's on that level, but I don't hate fading him here for sure. I mean, you said it last time out against the Royals. He sucked ass. The Royals are not good. And we'll say the start before that was against these very Tigers. 4 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 4 Ks, 2 walks. A pretty good start. So I'm gonna hope and I'm gonna back the Tigers as well, Jim. I'm gonna take them first 5 money line. It's at even money for me too. I think that
does it really move to even money?
Bovada's garbage. You know that Bovada's gives you the worst lines because they got you over the barrel. You know.
If you haven't tweeted this out, then I can line shop and get you better. Plus 110 at Bet365. Let's see what Pinnacle's offering because I'm sure they're going to offer something better. I'll bring up Cirque as well. But keep talking. My bad.
No, I have not tweeted anything because this is lovely. All capping with you, Jim. And do it together. We're arm in arm in this. I want to find the plays with you. But yeah, no, I like my man Fideo here. Alex Fideo, as I call him. Have you had Fideo, Jim?
Sorry?
Have you had Fideo?
No.
Disappointing.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I wish I could expound on this game more. I think you really said everything. I'm gonna back the Tigers as well. First 5 money line. And we'll say Matty Ice. Shout out to Matty, who is a wizard of the Tigers. We all know that. Tigers bullpen, one of the strongest points and the best in the MLB this year. So if you're taking full game, you don't hate that either. But I will stick with the first 5. And last night, I remember going through, or yesterday, I remember going through the Twins lineup, and it was just horrid. And the only addition they really made was Buxton. And I know he does a lot, but I don't know. I'm just going to take the Tigers here, I guess.
All right. You are locked in. Say hey, play of the day. And Bet365 of all, very strangely, giving the best line. First 5 at plus 110. Pinnacles at plus 105. I've double dipped on the Detroit Tigers. TJ says Mini on the road in last month has the same WRC plus as Detroit at home. Wow, that makes me feel much, much more confident on my action. I love it. There we have it. Let's keep rolling. We have both moved, and I doubled up. Next up, we have 2:05 p.m. Eastern, and we have arrived at none other than the spreadsheet play of the day and our Ron Crawford. I came very close to moving on the Tampa Bay Rays as well. After capping it, it was my plan to move on the Rays. Looking at the market, I stopped and thought, just let's talk it out first. So why don't we discuss the reasons why I got nervous first? Not weather related. 83 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 9.7 miles per hour, slightly in, left to right, and then it becomes fully in. It becomes fully in within an hour. So it's just by 8.6, 7.7 but it becomes fully in. So keep that in mind when you're studying the totals for this game. Then in line history here with Kluber versus Taylor Hearn, you have a 15-cent move towards the Rays. Interesting. So I could have got in after a 10-cent move at minus 135. It's now 15 at minus 140. And this total opened up as a pick 'em each way. There's been a 5-cent move to the under 8.5. Let's go to the cash flow here. 5,888 tickets in. This is one of the 4 teams that Sports Insights has given half value towards. And the big bets are on Texas. 24% of the cash, 24% of the tickets are on the Rangers and 40% of the cash. Then we have 49% of tickets and 86% of the cash on the under. So big bets have also come in on the under. There's the Sweaty Butcher in the house. What up, Sweaty Butcher? Viper MB is on the Rays money line at minus 130. Eddie Euler has his final score. Great to see Eddie Euler back next. Final score of 5-3 Tampa. Eric Jones also on the Rays money line here. So is an AM. AM Titty Sauce play today. Yesterday was on the Rays, and he's going back to the well here on the Rays today. So Rays are just 12-10 on the road. Rangers just 12-13 at home. Corey Kluber coming off a nice start at home over the Yankees. 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 earned run, 5 Ks, and a 3-1 victory. 4.03 ERA, 1.19 whip, 42 Ks, and 44 2/3. Taylor Hearn coming off an 11-4 win at the A's. The A's hit lefties better than they hit righties. 6 innings, 8 hits, 3 runs, just 2 of which were earned, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 1 walk, and 11-4 victory. The Rays are no power at all versus lefties, and I imagine that will change and they'll progress to the mean. But 245 average, 664 OPS. And the Rangers, the same deal versus righties, 230 average, 648 OPS. So we have 2 teams that don't have power numbers against the arm that they're facing, and 2 teams with strong bullpens. Rays 3.23 ERA, 1.13 whip, converted 15 of 26. Rangers bullpen 3.56 ERA, 1.25 whip, have converted 11 of 17. Take it away here for us, Jose. Rays, Rangers.
I can totally understand why people are on the Rangers, and I think I'm going to end up backing them as well. Taylor Hearn, last 2 appearances has been all right, I guess. He's had 2 away starts at Oakland, at Houston. We'll talk about the Houston start: 4 2/3, 6 hits, 4 earned runs, a home run, 2 Ks, 2 walks. And I think that's a pretty impressive start actually for Taylor Hearn going to the Houston Astros there. The Rangers right now, I was about to say, Noli's taking it right there. The Rangers right now are doing really well, 120 weighted runs created plus against righties, while those very Rays are slumping. They're hit 26 right now against lefties, 76 weighted runs created plus, as well as all those batting average stats that Noli's providing there. I'm on the Rangers first 5 money line here at plus 100 again, basically. Well, that's what Bovada's giving me. If you was line shopping and all that good stuff, you can probably find something better. But I can totally see why people or why the big bets are on the Rangers. And we'll talk about Corey Kluber. I guess, he pitched on the Rangers like twice, but he got hurt like 3 times on this Rangers squad. Just kind of stole some money from him. So maybe there's a little animosity there. I don't know. But I'm on the Rangers here for 5. I think that the Rays bats just not together after Wander Franco leaves. Maybe it turns out Wander Franco's a pretty big piece to that lineup offensively. So Rangers first 5 money line for me.
Rangers first 5 money line available at plus 120 at Pinnacle, plus 115 at Bet365. I'll take a look at what it is at other spots, but that's a pretty nice number. The plus 120.
Man,
so say hey coming in.
By the way,
yeah,
I'm gonna here's a quick endorsement for Sports Insights. # give me a free membership. Yesterday, full line value, whatever the fuck, on the Orioles, and on this very show, I doubled up with the Orioles. I cashed both very easily, and that was one of the factors I took into account when betting them. So, Sports Insights coming through.
Yeah, it does seem to be helping at this point. So I wish I had TJ right there with a desk in my apartment, so I could just throw stats at, track this, track that. It'd be nice to have these all tracked, and maybe I don't even want to say I try to do it next year. I got enough to track. There we have it. So this is just going to keep me off of it. It's going to keep me off the game. I will cheer for you. Say hey, play of the day. Number 2, Rangers, first 5 at plus 120. We move on to our. Oh, yes.
By the way,
yeah.
Actually, I've already forgotten it. Never mind. Sorry.
All right.
Sorry. Sorry. I had something to tell you. I just forgot what it was. I forgot.
Okay.
I apologize.
It's okay, man. It's okay.
I just like shaking up the.
It's part of what we love about you. It keeps you calm, keeps you at peace, and sometimes you forget things. Okay. Let's go to work. Chicago White Sox, Toronto Blue Jays. This is our last afternoon game with Jose Bouquett. If you want to know Jose's looks on the evening games, say hey play of the day. Say hey plays will be at 5:30 Eastern. But it's cool that we're getting a chance to hear his morning action here on the show.
I'll give a spoiler too, by the way, at the end of this. I'll give a spoiler to one. I have not capped it yet, but I'll tell you for sure about a game that I'll be on after this game.
I love it. All right, let's talk about it. Rogers Center in Toronto, Ontario. It is beautiful. I don't go outside anymore. No, it's not beautiful.
I can tell by your skin.
Yeah,
that tan you had after your vacation has dissipated. Oh no.
I've not been outside since the vacation. It's okay. It's all right. I don't mind the light. It is because I love the opportunity to cap with you guys so much. Like I wake up thankful for this opportunity, and I have
nightmares about you just staying inside all day. Just worry.
Yeah. Well, look, I'm in horrific shape, and obviously, if all I do is cap the card for you guys, I probably got another 10 years, maybe 15 years left. I would like to move on to other things rather than just capping the card, so that I can, have some health. But let's keep it here. So look, Blue Jays are the best team in the league. I've been saying it over and over again, and I'll continue to say it.
I will admit to you, eventually, at some point, my Red Sox fandom is going to take over, and that's going to just drive me up a wall, like in August. In August, if you keep saying this, I'm going to be just infuriated because the Red Sox will either be down in the dumps or chasing the Blue Jays at that point. So I just want to let you know that now.
I just hope that you guys, that everybody watching has made money off of them on this run, because it's been just easy. And the games have not been easy. The games have been tight. And like I said yesterday, we had a lefty who'd been lit up by the White Sox going up against a team that hits lefties so hard, and it was a fucking breeze. We beat them so easily. It was just a fucking breeze. That's how good this baseball team is. Cueto is tricky. He's just a tricky pitcher with his little shimmy and all that stuff. I don't know how far he can get. I don't know how long he's going to last against these Jays bats. I really don't. Last start for Cueto, 6 2/3, 9 hits, 5 earned runs, no homers, 2 Ks, 3 walks, and a 5-1 loss at home versus the Cubs. But he's had a good start to the year, and he's tricky. Alek Manoah had his worst start of the year. This is Alek Manoah's worst start of the year. 6 innings, 7 hits, 3 runs, 2 of which were earned, 2 homers, 9 strikeouts, 0 walks, and a 4-3 win at the Angels.
I still don't think he's going to win the Cy Young, by the way.
And people have bet it. I haven't. I agree.
He's not the best pitcher on his staff.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I think that Gausman might be a better. Might be. Look, Manoah is the bulldog that every team wants. He adds a toughness to this team that they need as a young squad. Let's talk about the weather, the market movements, and everything here. First off, 66 Fahrenheit, 7.7 miles per hour left to right. It goes down to 6, and there's drizzle by the end of the game. So maybe the roof's closed. Maybe the roof's closed. Interesting. I didn't realize there was going to be drizzle.
Do they close it mid-game?
It's 2 hours in, but I'll take a look at the weather report when you're talking to. That was just the swish. The Jays opened up at minus 192, and the movement towards the White Sox lately. So at 11:54 a.m., it moved 5 cents to the White Sox. 10 minutes after that, it moved 5 more cents. So the Jays all of a sudden are minus 180. I got them on the -1 line at minus 192 and plus 110. So it was minus 139. It was expensive. They just seem to be winning a lot of one-run games. I mean, yesterday wasn't one of them. So I'm not going to have any concern at this point taking them at these inflated numbers on -1 lines. The total opened up at 8.5, juice to the under. It's exactly where it started. When we go over to the cash flow in this spot, We have 6,834 tickets in, 74% of the tickets, 80% of the cash on the Jays, 51% of the tickets, 45% cash on the under. If I was only focusing on the way I do with other teams, there'd be lots of times where I'd stay off the Jays. This one would make me nervous. I don't care. Uncle Oliver's on the under 8.5. Lee Davis talking about the Sox team total under 3.5. I think that would be a good call now that I think about it, Lee Davis. I would like to hear what Jose has to say, but if they're not going to rake against lefty Hyunjin Ryu, then they're not going to touch Manoah, I don't think. I don't want to get cute personally here when I know if I just bet the Jays every single day, I'm going to make money. So I'm probably not going to get cute here, but I can understand that. Look, Blue Jays bats have been quiet all year. Just 238, 705 OPS versus righties. That's why I'm just like, look out. This fucking baseball team is so good. Their bats have been quiet. They were the worst team in the league with runners in scoring position. White Sox versus righties, 231, 627 OPS. They've been bad, and they're dealing with they bring in Moncada off of the IL, and then he sits for 6 straight games or 5 straight games. I don't know why they brought him off the IL if he was just going to not be in the lineup. You have Anderson out now for 3 weeks. You have Eloy Jimenez, who's on rehab run. So take it away. And the bullpen's not being good. 3.86 ERA, 1.22 whip, 21 of 31. Look, their stats aren't that good. They're just going to get better. And when they get better, they're going to take care of business. Jeffrey Moore says dome closed or open. I had expected it to be open, but now I see drizzle late. I'll look into it while Jose's talking. Jose, take it away here. Jays at home to the White Sox.
This is an easy way to look up the weather for you too, huh? Great. Manoah's been fantastic. Unfortunately, all these things are a little bit too juicy for me. The only way I could really back the Jays here is for his team total, 4.5 at even money. And like I said before, I've cut down the splits from the whole month last month to now the 15th and on, and it's reflected in the Jays line and the Jays number especially. Jays against righties, 117 weighted runs created plus. That's 9th. There's a long time where they were dead last or 27th, 26th, around there. So they're finally climbing up. But you're right about Johnny Cueto. He's a tricky son of a bitch, man. And I thought his start at the Yankees, I thought he would get crushed, but he goes out there, shimmies his shoulders a little bit, and dazzles some Bronx Bombers, which I love to see. But ultimately, I think Manoah is a phenomenal pitcher and someone that is very, very tough to go against. I had your I don't give a fucking shit, whatever attitude with the Blue Jays. I had that with the Pirates. Unfortunately, I do not get there with either one of these teams. If you want a little bit of reinforcement for the White Sox here, 95 weighted runs created plus against righties, that's 19th. So, whatever you make of that there. I'm just hoping for you, Jim, personally, because I know you're invested in this White Sox club in a form or fashion. I hope that the other teams in the AL Central just start slowly just falling apart or, deciding, well, this ain't our year.
Yeah, I don't think the Twins are a good team, but the White Sox action does not look good right now. In fact, I'd be very curious to see what it is right now because I know I'd get a better price if I had to wait until now.
I bet you will. And I bet you, let's say, worst case scenario, like at the trade deadline around there, they're like 3rd or whatever. They're not going to be like a team that you want or you figure to be selling, obviously. They're going to add pieces at the deadline to get better. So at the very worst case, you're down at the deadline and they're just like, you know what? Fuck this. We're not playing Moncada. Let's move him for a good piece. Let's do this. And obviously, they have the guillotine over Tony La Russa that, that might help them too. Who knows?
No, Springer will not be in the lineup today. Ballpark Pal expects the dome to be open, so maybe it starts open. And the White Sox are a minus 120 right now. By the way, the futures that are available are still hugely available. I mean, if anybody still wants to get in on the Jays, I got it at plus 1,200 on the World Series. It's plus 1,100. The Jays are plus 350 to win the division. I got 375. So, I mean, we're not talking big differences here. So it's all widely available. But the White Sox are minus 120 to win the division now. Here's the confirmed lineup for the Jays: Espinal, Bichette, Guerrero, Hernandez, Kirk, Biggio, Chapman, Tapia, and Zimmer. So look at the 8-9-1. I mean, Tapia to Zimmer to Espinal is
I was about to say, I think you're the only person, by the way, that's happy about Biggio being up.
I'm very happy with him being up. I know his numbers are poor right now, but he can play every single position, and I think it's just being tough. Look, it's being tough when you come up with Bo Bichette and Vladimir Guerrero Jr. I mean, it's hard to be confident, and so I think it's been tough on him. But I expect him to be a key piece to the puzzle, a young player who can play every position. Now he's got to hit over 100. He's got to clear the Mendoza line too. So look, he's not hitting right now, but I do believe
100 points from it. Even if that.
No, I know, but I do believe in his skill set, and I cheer for him. For the White Sox, Luis Garcia, Luis Robert, Moncada back after he should have been back. Why'd they take him off the IL so long ago? Abreu, Sheets, Grandal, Vaughn. People talk about Andrew Vaughn, like third overall pick in 2019. He's the best bat in the lineup. He's certainly the most feared bat.
The A's were trying to get him for Frankie Montas, and that was the trade that the A's were trying to get this whole time, basically. And the White Sox told him to go fuck themselves. So that's a big indicator.
Oh, he's a dangerous bat. He's the bat we fear the most for sure. They have Reese McGuire at DH. Can you believe this is a Chicago White Sox team that has to use Reese? I know Reese McGuire's had a good start to the year, but I guess maybe he's DHing because he knows these. He knows Manoah well. And then Jay Hay at second base. So I've taken him on the -1 line. Eddie Euler says Toronto +4 run differential, Yankees +79. Eddie Euler, the Jays were hitting 179 with runners in scoring position, and they had the hardest scheduled league.
You say that in your sleep now. That is like that. You are like say that like Arya Stark before you go to bed. 179 runners in scoring position. There's the hardest schedule in the league. That's I can imagine. I can imagine it. And by the way, I forgot to mention this earlier. Maxwelly asked about Manoah's stats at day or whatever on the daytime, and I was curious myself. I looked them up, and if I had water or whatever, I would have spat out my drink. 8-1 with a 2.15 ERA and 11 games started and 67 innings pitched there too. So. Pretty good. Pretty good there. Oh, and another thing I also forgot to mention, someone in the chat mentioned this or said it and brought it to my attention. Gogster sent an apology on Twitter like a true Canadian. Canadian. And I thought I would show it to everyone right here. Look at this. Just look at Gogster. Just want to apologize to old one-ho Bouquet. As a winning capper, I am pleased to have your hashtag Oilers blessing from a disheveled Canadian Gogster. See, that's a true Canadian right there.
Oh no,
that's a true Canadian.
That bet's gonna lose for sure. That bet is gonna lose for sure.
What are we gonna do?
Jose, great stuff. Thank you for joining me here. Let's review action if you want. Oh, you said there was one night game that you wanted to let us know about.
Oh yeah. And by the way, if you want me to stick around for talk about these games, I gladly will. I mean, I barely capped them. I obviously will talk more in depth about them and say, hey, plays. But I gladly will chop it up with you because, I love talking to my dad.
No, I care about this very much, but I also want everybody to want to watch your show.
You're
a winning capper.
Everyone comes for the Pirates. What are you talking about?
No, I want them to watch.
On the show, so it's a great time as always. I think everyone just comes for the laughs and the cuckles.
I don't think so. I think they want winners, and they don't want to know your winners.
I'll give you a winner right now. I'll give you the winner right now. Sorry, I have not capped this game fully in depth yet, and we'll talk about it. But I'm going to be on the Baltimore Orioles again. Today. I couldn't even actually I know it's Flexen versus Jordan Lyles. But I don't know the lines or anything, honestly. I think it's closer to even money. But I said the stats yesterday about the Seattle Mariners. For some reason, they just don't play well on the East Coast. And when they won that first game, I saw the green light. I was like, well, they are losing the next 2 games for sure. And I'll say it again, like I said yesterday, at Tampa Bay, 1-2. At Toronto, 1-2. At the Red Sox, 0-4. They went to Baltimore and they beat them 1-0 or 10-0. They lose again. And they go at Miami. We'll throw that last East Coast team in there, 1-2. That's not like your traditional, like, he's hitting 665 on blah, blah, blah. That's not your traditional stats there. That's just looking at your schedule and just realizing, maybe this West Coast team doesn't like the East Coast very much for whatever reason. Maybe they the second game they're tired from all the travel, and then the third game they're like, get me the fuck out of here. I want to go back to the West Coast, aka the best coast, and they just half-ass it. Who knows? But I will be on the Orioles today.
I love it. I love it, Jose. And Billy Friedrich doesn't think this game's going to get played. I think it will. If they can get, maybe it's pushed a little bit because there's thunderstorms around 6. But if you get to 8 or 9, the precipitation gets below 40, and it keeps dropping down 35, 30. So it might. It might.
Fingers crossed it does, because I will be on the Orioles if it does. And obviously, tune in to Say Hey Plays 5:30 Eastern, 4:30 Central, with special guest Bobano today, Bobano Thursdays. And the next guy on the show is the Friday guest. So shout out to my guy, Conor Mack, as always. But tune in to then. We'll have more information. The weather will have changed. And 182 and 169, up 18.96 units now. Ooh, after the Buccos come through for me. As always, guys, just remember, Jimmy, whenever you're feeling down, whenever you don't know what to do, raise it, and remember to always bet on Venezuela.
Oh, brimming with confidence, Jose Bouquett. And why wouldn't he? Up over 18 units in MLB, running hot. And can you believe the man called the Pirates 3 games in a row, bet them 3 games in a row? I mean, it's very impressive. Catch a show with Bobano today at 6 or 5:30 p.m. Eastern. And it is now time to bring on the guest who has been the best on this show right here. I mentioned it off the top, but he's been very selective. He has an average line of plus 113. He's 8 wins and 4 losses, hitting at 66.7%, plus 5.07 units. So doing that on 12 bets gives him an ROI of 42.25%. Please welcome to the show from Las Vegas, Nevada, Miggity Mac Daddy, Conor Mack in the house. What up, C-Mac?
What's up, Jimmy? I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me on. A little late relief action here on this Thursday.
I think this is fun. I think we might do more of hearing Jose's takes on the early games and then you have to see his takes on the late games on his show. I like this, and I love what you have been doing. I've been watching it very closely. You also have a great eye on the Dodgers. And
those bums? Come on.
Yeah.
Those losers. Jeez Louise.
Those fucking losers.
On. Yeah. Get out of here. Raise it. Yeah.
Fuck yeah. No way, fucking losers. $200 million for nothing.
Yeah, it only took him 22 years. Losers.
Okay. Sorry. Let's get right to work, C-Mac. We start with the San Francisco Giants at Miami Marlins here. Lone Depot Park in Miami, Florida. Our guy, JPZ, has put a ton of fear into me, talking about the curse, I guess you'd call it, of teams leaving Colorado. But I think that Alex Wood is vulnerable, and Sandy Alcantara is elite. And if that's the case, and we expect the Marlins bats to fall off, maybe what I should do is add the under or first 5 under. By the way, Mike M says Kemper not on the ice for the morning skate. So let's break this down right now. And these are my 4th and 5th bets on the day. I've not added anything at this point. And so this is it for me. I'm on the Marlins first 5 minus a half at plus 100, and Marlins full game -1 at plus 104. So that's my spot there. Let's talk about the line history and the cash, and then set a quick table and hand it over to you. The Marlins opened up at minus 140. They went down to minus 135. They're back to minus 145. So it hasn't moved from where I got them. I got them at minus 145. From a total perspective, it opened up at 7, juiced to the over at minus 120. It's now juiced to the under at minus 120. When we take a look at the cash flow in this spot, we have two teams with full line value according to Sports Insights. That is the Cincinnati Reds and the Miami Marlins. There's only 3,606 tickets in on this spot. 58% of the tickets are on the Marlins, 70% of cash. And then 47% of tickets are on the over, and 60% of cash is on the over, and yet it's now juiced to the under. Wood, in his last start, 3-2 loss at the Reds, went 5 2/3, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, a homer, and 6 Ks. Sandy Alcantara's last start at the Braves was unbelievable. 8 innings, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 14 strikeouts, and no walk. The Marlins don't hit lefties. 211, 608 OPS, and JPZ talked about that being another angle that he's using because he's really confident that the Marlins are in big trouble here. The Giants are hitting 248, 727 OPS versus righties. The Marlins bullpen has slipped a bit. Maybe that happens when you play in Colorado. But 3.85 ERA, 1.31 whip of converted 10 of 18, and haven't looked very good. The Giants bullpen's been atrocious of late. 4.50 ERA, 1.37 whip, have converted just 11 of 19 saves. Take it away here, C-Mac, your first game of the day, Giants, Marlins.
Yeah, you mentioned it. Can Wood be good here? That Marlins, as soon as they won 14-0, I took the Rockies, and wow, what a no lead safe there, and it just showed last night. I think they're up 10-6, and they went down, and Rogers had 3 homers, had the game-winning homer there. That was great. Like you said, that probably wears on a bullpen when you limp out of Coors Field. I think it's a sleepy spot. Wood just hasn't been great. This guy's only been going 4 2/3. I was looking up his numbers. He went 5 2 against the Reds, 4 hits, 3 runs. He really hasn't gone more than 5 1/3 all year long. And I'm a big Alcantara guy. The problem is you have a Giants team over 500, 5 games over 500 against the Marlins team. It's 20 and 28, but they got their Mamu on the mound. So for me, and the big deal is the Marlins can't hit lefties. I think they will. Soler should. Aguilar, they have some righties in there. I think the year they should get better swinging it. I'm with you here. I'd be on the under. You're not getting a great price, but this is staring me right in the face. The first 5 under 3.5, or the full game at 7 here. Marlins just struggle to hit, so they just real quick. They just swing a ton, and it just seems like such a sleepy early spot. I just wish we had a 4. We're not getting that. Just to be safe, you get the push, but the under's there. Go ahead.
Would you be leaning let me know if you want to make either of these official, but would you be leaning more towards the first 5 or a full game?
I'd go first 5.
Yeah,
I'd want on Contra. Yeah.
These bullpens are just not to be trusted right now.
He's been so good. I mean, other than that last start, you talked about the 14 Ks, but I mean, he went 8 innings. The game before that, 9, 8, 7. I mean, he's going deep and pitching well. And pitching well at home. I know he had one bad start against the Mariners where he gave up 5, but I just don't. The Marlins, I think, are the play. No way I'm going to lay this price, though, with the Marlins. Just maybe take the Marlins first 5 -1/2. The bats have always got me the last couple of years doing that. Taking a half-run first 5 when him on the mound, and it's a 2-2 or 1-1 game, and you lose that bet. So I'm going to stay off. I lean the under. Yeah.
Matt Paulin says that was no normal doubleheader either, right? 40 runs scored. Mike M says Colorado doubleheader, travel back home. San Francisco bats come alive. Feels like a San Francisco spot. Matt Paulin says, I love fading Marlins as a favorite. Love Sandy, but got to go Giants. Mike M says, when Miami is a public favorite, they are a letdown team. And Don Max says, Wood's underlying numbers show he's been getting pretty unlucky. Low FIPS, and XFIPS, high BABIPs. Marlins don't hit lefties. Right. You want the under. Maybe that will push me towards this under because, look, the Marlins players are tired. Sure, I get that their players are tired, but Alcantara is not. And
he's not. No.
If the bats are going to be sleepy, then okay, I think I may add this under 3.5. I wanted to talk it out, and I think I feel pretty comfortable with that. And staying away from the bullpen.
Real quick, Jimmy, Giants played a couple extra inning games there too with the Phillies,
Yeah.
I don't know if it was back-to-back days, so, they had to travel, come down here to Miami. So I look at it, early, under early.
Okay, I'm going to move on it.
Okay.
I'm going to move on it. Great breakdown from everybody. And CMAC just with leans right now. There's Brothers and Bets in the house. What up, Brothers and Bets, my guy? Let's move on to 6:40 p.m. Eastern. Washington Nationals, 18-34, 9-16 on the road at the Cincinnati Reds, 17-32, 9-12 at home. We're at Great America Ballpark in Cincinnati, Ohio. We'll start with the weather here. Sorry, let me pull it up here. 73 Fahrenheit at first pitch, 7.3 miles per hour out to right, and it dies down throughout the game, down to 5.5, and then down to 3.1. We look at the line history in this spot. Now, at this point, moving forward, I don't have any more action. So we'll see if there's additions as we go through. Johan Adon in this spot. The Nats open up at plus 105. They're now plus 115, a 10-cent move towards the Cincinnati Reds. And from a total perspective, it opened up at 9 and only lasted there for 2 hours and 14 minutes before it hit 9.5. And since then, there's still been a 20-cent move to the over from minus 105 to minus 125. The over 9.5 minus 125. Let's go over to the cash in this spot here in Cincy. And this is what I said. This is the second spot on the board with full line value on the Reds. So we have full line value on the Reds and Marlins. 6,519 tickets in. 69% of the tickets are on the Reds and 88% of the cash. Whew, that's a lot of money on a team that's playing better, mind you, but with a terrible record. 42% of tickets on the under, 59% of cash on the under. Graham Ashcraft on the hill. We broke down his minor league numbers on the last show. So far this year, he's been in AAA Louisville. He's 3-1 with a 1.65 ERA. He's been very good. 1.469 WHIP, though. He's walked 17 batters in 32 2/3. So that is an issue that still is here. His K to walk ratio is 4-4 and 10 2/3 here. But he's not getting hit, and he didn't get hit at home in that win over the Giants. 6 1/3, 4 hits, no earned runs, 1 K, 2 walks, and 5-1 win. But I don't know where all this confidence in Ashcraft is coming from. And maybe it's more of a fate of Johan Adon because he's got a 6.08 ERA, 1.67 WHIP. But Adon's last start at home was nice. 6 innings, 6 hits, 2 runs, none of which were earned. 3 Ks and 2 walks. Neither team hits righties. Nats a little stronger, 253, 698 OPS compared to the Reds at 227, 663 OPS. Nats bullpen 4.31 ERA, 1.38 WHIP. Have converted just 6 of 10 saves. Reds bullpen worse, 4.82 ERA, 1.39 WHIP. Have converted 10 of 14. And Man Bear Pig, who has been called in his absence while he's not been here, the Nationals whisperer, says he loves the Nats and thinks they're going to destroy today. CMAC, take it away here. Nationals, Reds.
Yeah, I could see that happening here. Ashcraft was really good that last start, got through it against Rodon. I had the first 5 under, and Reds were up 3-0. But you talked about the walks, in AAA. It wasn't much of a difference there, and he's 4-4-2 starts here. But he's gotten through it, his ERA, but that's going to catch up with him here in the big leagues real quick. He's at home. To me, in this game, Don, you talked about his last start. He's had 2 good starts, and in between there, he gives up 6 runs. It just seems like clockwork. 5, 6. He had a 0, and then it just goes again 6-5. So after a brilliant start, I look to fade him. Whether Nats score enough runs here is the question, and all the money's on it. It's already moving. I'd only be on the over here. I think there's a little bit of value with the Nationals. I just don't want them right now. I just don't want this team. Both pitchers, they haven't seen these guys at all. But 2 guys, I think there could be a lot of walks, a lot of base hits. So over. I'd be on here. It's just up to 10. Yeah, I've been looking at it. Definitely, I lean that way to this over.
So we have a lean to this over. It's gone from 9 to 9.5. We still have the bigger bets on the under. Nate Dogg 420 in the house. Yes, we've talked hockey already, and we have Dutch Boy Fresh coming in for basketball. At this point, I'm on the Avalanche -1, and I am adding the first period under 2 at slight plus money. I'm not sure, maybe a plus 104 it'll probably come out to. So
Yeah.
I'll be adding that here. And Mr. Gogster on the first 10 minutes, no goal at plus 195 for a huge score. Great to see you, Nate Dogg, my guy. Man Bear Pig had no idea he was known as the Nats Whisperer. Well, you are, Man Bear Pig. You are, Man Bear Pig. And it's great to have you
Real
here.
quick, Jimmy, with these starters,
Yeah.
they could give up runs, but you talked about the pen. So even if there's, going in the 6th inning, if there's 6 runs, Reds are second to last. And I think the Nats are, 25th in the league, something like that, 26th, with 2 bad bullpens, 2 not great teams that play defense. So it's just, I've even seen it move to 10. I mean, I don't know if you have a few spots.
Wow.
But yeah, I only think there'd be runs in this one.
Oh, you're right. Absolutely. Because it's minus 125 at Bet365.
Yeah.
So there'll be 10s on the board. North Ender says, should we wait for some more money on that first period under 2? North End, sorry to go back to hockey quickly, but we've seen a 10-cent move back to the under in the last, now, how long has the show been going on? So for about 2 hours ago. So it was at minus 145 to the under. Or sorry, the over was at minus 145 over 7. It's now minus 135 at Bet365. So I'm going to keep a very close eye on it, but it's the sharps on the under and the public on the over, and we've seen the sharps be wrong lots on situations like this. So I'm not sure, North Ender, but important point. And I'm going heads up with the barbecue sauce titty play of the day in our guy AM. Okay, so we have a lean to the over. I think that I should have been on the over, and that I've now missed it.
I missed it too. I think so. You could have got a 9 maybe last night. That's just, my fault. Look at these walks too. You talked about Ashcroft, where I think it's going to catch up to him, Jimmy. I mean, so does Adon. I mean, just 5 walks he's had. Last start was only 2, but you get those ducks on the pond and just, big doubles and homers, runs.
I don't know if I would have caught the move at Bet365 was at 7:15 p.m. tonight. I just don't think I would have already been that far ahead with my capping that I would have caught that. But it didn't move to minus 115 until 3:49 in the morning. I could have got the minus 105 at 10 at night or at 11 at night Eastern.
Yeah.
So that's when that's when that probably was a move that I should have made. Ashram Mendes says, I'll take the Reds after game 1, maybe after last night. That was nasty. He gave up 5 runs, 1 damn ending after a shutout. Shutout is what he's saying, Ashram. Yeah, tough. And Eddie Euler saying that over's at minus 128 now at Penny and AM. It's great to have you back in the fold, man. We love you, buddy. And we love Coactus. We love both you guys. All right, so no movement from us, but a lean towards the over. Let's move on to 7:05 p.m. Eastern, and this is the spot that Jose was talking about, Mariners, Baltimore, Orioles. This is the spot he wants to attack. So let's get Jose back on the show here. We're talking Camden Yards in Baltimore, Maryland, Flexen versus Jordan Lyles. I'm going to talk about the line history here, and we'll go over the points that Jose is hoping to move on, and the market's moving towards the Orioles as well. They opened up at plus 105 at 7:43. They moved to plus 100 at 8 this morning. They moved to minus 105. So the Mariners still a very slight favorite. This total's being all over the map. It opened up at 9, dropped 8.5, and is back at 9 at a pick'em. So since the opening line, there has been a 10-cent move to the over, but that probably doesn't tell the whole story because it went down to 8.5 here. When we look at the cash in this spot, we have sport. So there's a couple slivers that mean nothing. I told you the 2 teams with full line value as the Sports Insights. The 4 teams with half: the Cubs, the Rockies, the Tigers, and the Rangers. And then with more than a sliver, I would say like a quarter, a little more than a quarter, probably a little under a third, are the Orioles again with line value here according to Sports Insights. 5,396 tickets in, and 44% of the tickets. 61% of the cash on the Orioles. You have 32% of tickets on the under and 74% of cash on the under, which is interesting. Flexen coming off the incredible start that seemingly came out of nowhere when his splits were also showing that he was as bad or worse at home than he had been on the road throughout the year when he went heads up against Verlander and looked very, very good. 4.47 ERA, 1.41 whip on the season. And then Lyles for the Orioles is a pitcher that I've want to fade every opportunity I get. And he started showing signs, sort of like Eric Lauer, or sort of like a one of these pitchers that was available for a cup of coffee who would be capable of having good starts. Now, I shouldn't probably put him in the class with Eric Lauer because he stepped up enormously. But before Eric Lauer moved to the Brewers, Eric Lauer, I tried to fade every game. Lyles has allowed 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs, 4 earned runs, 2 earned runs. His last start was at Boston. He's had 3 tough places to play: New York, and then Boston. And that second start against New York in the Bronx, he went 6 2/3, allowed just 3 earned runs. So both starts against the Yankees were quality starts from him. And then he goes into Boston and gets lit up. Well, not really lit up. He seems to hold the damage down. 9 hits, 4 1/3, 3 earned runs, 1 walk, 3 Ks. Talk to us here, Jose, and do you want to make the Orioles official?
Well, I should say my real decision was deciding between first 5 and full game. I was thinking about it while I was watching the Pirates games. When I didn't know they were going to win full game, I was like, man, I wish I would have just taken them first 5 full games. So I could have come out with something at least. But I think I'm just going to take full game money line minus 103. You mentioned Jordan Lyles starting against the Yankees. That was the I think it was just the one in the Bronx, 6 2/3. That was the start where I took them full game money line against Garrett Cole and won. That was one of the first minus 300. So I think I might have a little special place for Jordan Lyles in my heart, I guess. I think he's bad. Obviously, he's not a good pitcher. He's not someone that anyone will trade for in the trade deadline. He's a especially Oriole pitcher, but he's on a little hot streak. I'll take 3 earned runs, 2 earned runs, 4 earned runs. Just keep the bats hot for the Orioles. And I think Chris Flexen will struggle after having a good start here. I'll just challenge Chris Flexen to do it again for me. I understand Orioles in my little split range, 95 weighted runs created plus. That's 18th in the league. So that's all right, but that's not the best. And we'll talk about the Seattle offense, which is on fire recently. 131 weighted runs created plus. That's 5th. So I don't hate overs in this game, especially. I think this will be a higher scoring game. It seems like, but I'll take the Mariners here, or not. Sorry, I'll take the Orioles here. Full game money line minus 103. It's a cheaper price. You're not getting your plus 122 like you did yesterday. But you're not getting it stung if it does lose like a minus 120.
And you have the bullpen advantage as well with the Orioles' big bullpen advantage. Take it away, C-Man.
Yeah, definitely. I doubled up yesterday. I took the Orioles and the over. I wanted just what you said there, Jose, the plus 120 here. You think if Flexen had pitched better this year, this would be again. But I've talked about it, on these shows the last few times. Orioles sticks are finally waking up. Mancini, Mountcastle, these guys are starting to play, get Mullins going. So, yeah, I don't mind the play. I just don't think there's a ton of value, and I'd lean a tad bit to this over. Again, just one I'm going to stay off, though, here.
The issue is the rain. It's the rain. I mean, if it gets delayed or whatever, if it gets delayed, I will not want a part of this game. I don't want to deal with that shit. But if it does get played on time, all that good shit, then we'll roll. But I will mention real quick, would love to see Adley Rutschman get on track here. I mean, he's not had a great start so far. He's making contact, obviously not striking out that much, but he's hitting 179 so far. And how about you get your first home run? How about it, Adley? About it.
Say hey, play of the day number 3, Orioles minus 102. Thank you for sharing that. Don't forget, Babano is the special guest, and hit us with that record overall one more time, Jose.
It is 182 and 169, up 18 units, up 18.96 units. So the climb to 20 units has been long, and it's been very satisfying. This one will feel good if I get there.
I love it. There he is, Jose Bouquett. Catch him today at 5:30 p.m. Eastern. Next up, we have San Diego Padres and Milwaukee Brewers, and Adrian Hauser, who deserves to be on my starting 5 list. I think I bring him in off the IL, and I want to back him. And he looked terrible last start, and he's had a couple rough road starts in a row, and it makes me want to back him even more because we know what he can do at home. But I did get cold feet here's someone who did not get cold feet. We have now come to sweet Taint play of the day is the full game under 8.5 at minus 120. Matty Ice and Taint. We're in American Family Field in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Let's start and see if that roof will be open in Milwaukee, and it will be. 75 Fahrenheit and clear, 12.7 miles per hour out to left center. Dies down to 5.4 miles per hour, though. Dies down heavy, less, 63% dies down, 62% dies down. So let's take a look at the line history in this spot. I came very close to moving on the Milwaukee Brewers, but there's been a big move to the Padres. They open up at plus 105 dogs, and they were favorites this morning. Oh, excuse me. It was a pick 'em this morning, minus 110 each way. So a 15-cent move towards the Padres and Manaea. Total-wise, this has been all over the map. I don't even know if I believe this. Let me look at what it is right now. I think this might be getting wrong information that I don't want to give out, but they say that there's been this monstrous move to the over, and it's not true. So good thing I looked at this. It's just it opened up at 8, and this morning it moved to 8.5, minus 120 to the under. That's where it is right now. So it's a minus 120 to the under, 8.5. Nate Dogg also likes the under 8.5 in Milwaukee. Oakley Auxiliary says I'm on San Diego. Milwaukee Brewers smacked my 140 yesterday. Let's talk about this spot, and let's take a look at where the cash lies as well here in this game. 4,791 tickets in, 51% of tickets, 54% of cash on the Padres. 48% of tickets and 92% of cash on the over. As we've seen, it's gone from 8 to 8.5. That's a wild move. And that's a lot of money on the over. Sean Manaea, last start, 7 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 1 homer, 5 Ks, 3 walks, and a 4-3 win at home versus the Pirates. He has a 4.02 ERA, 1.11 whip on the year, 60 strikeouts in 56 innings, 19 walks, 8 home runs allowed. Hauser has looked bad of late, especially in that 8-3 loss at the Cardinals. 4 innings, 9 hits, 8 runs, 5 of which were earned, though. 2 homers, 1 K, 1 walk. But he's got 3.69 ERA, a 1.38 whip. And I'll pull up his splits here because I know that he's much, much better at home, where we back him and we get paid. And I want to do it here. Padres don't hit righties, 227, 639 OPS. Brewers don't hit lefties, 209, 648 OPS. So I get the look toward the under. Both bullpens have been good enough. Eddie Euler seeing that under 8.5 minus 114. Take it away, C-Mac. I wanted to talk this out before I bet it. Padres, Brewers.
Yeah, I like the Brewers here a little bit too. They've just struggled all year against the lefties. You talked about the 209 batting average to 243. For these Padres to be 20 games or 10 games over 500 is just unreal. They just cannot hit a lick right now. They need to tease in their line. I mean, Machado's done so much. They didn't have him this great start. It could be even worse. I'm with Taint here. This is one I already. The only problem is I didn't know if I wanted to go first 5 or full game. The bullpens, like you talked about, have been decent, pretty good. Brewers like 10th, Padres are like 12th, something like that when I was looking it up earlier. Hauser off the bad start at St. Louis, back here at home. He pitched good just May 23rd in San Diego. I remember that start, 6 innings. I was on it. He only gave up 1 earned run. So I like it here, the under. I think full game as well. There's a lot of 8s now at even money, or the 8.5 and minus 120. But and I lean Brewers. That's where I'd play too. Manaea's been. This guy goes 6 innings, Jimmy, 6, 7 innings. Seems like every start, but he just gives up 3 runs. It's just he can get tagged a little bit more, be a little bit better, but he's just 6 innings, 3 runs, usually 2 walks, 5 Ks. He had that one start. I think he struck out 14 or 15. But yeah, and then the struggles with the Brewers hitting the lefty. So I like the under here as well.
I cannot explain the move to the over and the move to the Padres. And
You
because of that,
just think it's a little bit of the wind. I mean, or the open. I mean,
yeah. But even when
that's
the
the only
roof's
thing I
open,
can-
I find let's go to Ballpark Pal and see what they have here for what they expect at this spot here. Here we go. American Family Field. So they have home runs plus 11%, runs plus 1%. So no real change with runs, but with home runs, the plus 11%. I find that the roof being open isn't a big. I find it tricky in American Family Field to figure out how big of an advantage it is with the roof open. Like it reminds me a little bit, that stadium reminds me a little bit of BC Place in Vancouver. All growing up, we dreamt of having a retractable roof. We always dreamt of it. Now it's not warm enough for long enough, but we thought those summer nights, there's only a couple months in, but how magical would it be to have the roof open? So then they do it. They get the retractable roof, and I've been there when the roof's open. It's not really open. Like it's only partially open. It's such bullshit.
It's like partially. Yeah.
Yeah, you're like, what waste of fucking money? Well, you want it open so you look up and you see the night and the star and all that shit. And that it kind of reminds me of that. So, Elliot V says, I love the Brewer game over. Brewers break out the bats against Mania today. I see them putting up a 5 spot on them early. And
I mean, they're due against a lefty, and I don't trust their sticks right now. 209.
yeah, when I can't explain the market move, I feel like I need to stay off. And I have to here. I have to, but I can explain, I think, why the market's moving to the Padres. It's because they look at what Hauser's done lately, and they think something's wrong with him. And then can we say, no, nothing's wrong with him. He's just not to be trusted on the road. If I can say that, then maybe I can move on the Brewers. But I don't know. I mean, Mania is not lights out.
No.
We go to Hauser's splits here, and the stats. We go to his splits, and he's sitting here with a 1.99 ERA at home. The opponents are batting 200 against him at home, where they're batting 281 against him on the road. 5.32 ERA on the road. And then even look at these day-night splits. I know it's probably too early and the sample size too low. At night, he has a 0.76 ERA. Opponents are hitting 159 against him.
Yeah, Padres are hitting 158. Yeah, in what's almost 60 at bats. That's what I was looking at too.
Trans Canada giving some important news. He said he put some Supreme gas in the tank the other day. It didn't save me. It didn't help his performance. So he says regular. D. Jenkins says Padres haven't really been hitting. They're 8-5 as a road dog. Brewers 14-6 as home faves. I want Hauser and the Brewers, and they have a better bullpen. So let me just go over to this money again here. 49% of the tickets on the Brewers, 43% of the cash. I guess at this price, I just have to trust myself here. I just have to, and I won't, no double up. But I'll take the Brewers here. God, why? But what? I don't know. Okay, what would your explanation be for the move towards the Padres? Would it just be because of Hauser's bad starts of recent and their inability to hit lefties? But that doesn't matter because Padres versus righties are 227, 639 OPS. AJ, says looking at no run first inning type game. Did you want to make anything official here, C-Mac?
Yeah, I am. I just don't know if I'm going to go first 5 or full game at the end of this year when we're done.
And going underneath, taking the under?
Yeah.
Okay, so you got time to make that call, so we'll go back and revisit this. Okay. All right. I have to trust what Hauser can do here, I think. Let's move on. We have 3 games left before we go into NBA. Let's move on to 8:05 p.m. Eastern. The St. Louis Cardinals, 29-21, 13-10 on the road. The Chicago Cubs, 21-29, 9-17 home. We're at Wrigley Field in Chicago, Illinois. Matthew Liberatore, 1-0, 3.72 ERA, 1.45 WHIP, 9 2/3, 9 Ks, 5 walks, 1 home run. Last start was at home versus the Brew Crew, and he looked very good. 5 innings, 2 hits, no runs, no homers, 6 Ks, 3 walks in an 8-3 win at home. Keegan Thompson on the other side, surprisingly sitting at 5-0, 1.58 ERA, 1.03 WHIP. I can't explain how this is happening. He's only allowed 3 home runs in 40 innings. His last start was at the White Sox, went 5 innings, 5 hits, 1 earned run, 1 homer, 4 Ks, and 1 walk. Cards versus righties, 247, 696 OPS. They don't hit them hard. The Cubs are hitting lefties pretty well. 242, 726 OPS. Cards bullpen, 3.70 ERA, 1.27 WHIP. Converted 12 of 16. Cubs bullpen has very similar numbers except for the back end where they're very weak. Cubs bullpen has converted 13 of 22 saves. So let's take a look at the weather in Wrigley here in Chicago. 60 Fahrenheit. Very little wind. It's blowing out. Opens at 1.6, closes at 5.3. So not much going on there. Take a look at the line history here in this spot. Opened up as a pick'em yesterday and has not moved. Then total wise opened up at 8 at a pick'em. There's been a 10-cent move to the over. And when we get to the cash, we have half line value on Thompson and the Cubs. 32% of the tickets on the Cubs, 47% of the cash, 55% of tickets on the under, 62% of the cash on that under. Take it away here, CMAC, Cards, Cubs.
Yeah, this is a tough game here. Watching the Cardinals, that bullpen's middle of the road, but I think they are not very good. That was tough to watch yesterday with the Padres. Just tough spot here. Pick them both ways. I see a lot of the tickets on the Cubs and more of the money on the Cardinals in this one. I can't really. Thompson, can he go 5 again? This guy's gone 3-4 innings. It's just I don't know what to say of his record too. And Torre, however you say his last name, butcher it. He was good that last start. I don't think he's a very good pitcher long term though. His curveball though. He was working it his last start. He was very, very good against the Brewers. So we just talked about who don't hit lefties very well. If he doesn't walk anybody, he'll be decent. Just a tough game. And this is just a spot kind of start. I think he'll be back in AAA very, very soon. So not one I love here. Cubs at home, rivalry, obviously, Cardinals-Cubs. I think the Cardinals are the better ball club. So yeah, this was just a pass early for me.
So sorry, hit me with because my ticket count has 2-1 tickets on the Cardinals.
Yeah.
And cash is close to 50-50. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's near it. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
There's just a little more.
Do you trust Keegan Thompson? Do you trust these numbers?
No. I do not. So, but he just keeps going out and doing it. But I think this could be a Cardinals maybe take advantage like a first 5. He's just gotten by. Like I said, Pirates he went up 5, the White Sox 5. I mean, he's gotten the job done. He's just like can get this through 4 or 5, and he's got it done. But long term, his numbers, were never great even in the minors. So I'm surprised how well he's pitched this year for sure.
Absolutely. Big Ragu in the house says looks cheap for a good Cards team, hence Thompson's record. And D Jenkins says Cards 6-2 is road faves, tied for best in the league. I'm going to comfortably stay off of this spot. Okay, 2 games left here. Next up, 8:40 p.m. Eastern. Atlanta Braves 24-27, 10-13 on the road. At the Colorado Rockies 23-27, 16-12 at home. Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. Austin Gomber, a tricky cap. This lefty. It's been bad this year, but we've seen signs of him being very good and at home of all places too. 2-5, 5.51 ERA, 1.37 WHIP on the year. Last start was atrocious. Inning and a third, 7 hits, 8 earned runs, 0 homers, 3 walks, 1 K, and a 13-7 loss at the Nats. Love to hear what TJ says. Yeah, says, yep, too cheap. Cubs are pass. And Christopher Comatini says, now this is where the books are begging you to take the Cards. Elliot V says Atlanta game is a tough call. He leans Atlanta money line. Eric Jones on Atlanta money line. Eric Jones also on the over 11. Ian Anderson coming off a disappointing start. He hasn't had a great year. His K to walk ratio is a problem. 36 Ks, 23 walks, and 47 2/3. Last start, 5 2/3, 4 earned runs, 2 homers, 5 Ks, 3 walks, and a 6-4 win at home versus the Marlins. The Braves rake against lefties, 243, 760 OPS, and the Rockies don't hit righties, 249, or they don't hit them with power, 699 OPS. Braves bullpen almost 2 runs better per 9 than the Rockies bullpen, but maybe the thin air of Colorado has something to do with that. Braves bullpen 3.35 ERA, 1.20 whip. Didn't get off to a good start, and the back end has been a bit of a problem, but the middle relief has been lights out. They've converted just 15 and 25 saves. Rockies bullpen is the exact opposite. The middle relievers are atrocious, but the back end is strong. They've converted 15 of 21 saves. So let's take a look at the weather in Colorado. 71 Fahrenheit, 6.9 miles per hour in. It stays around that, 5.9. Then with the line history here in Colorado, we have a 10-cent move to the Braves. And total-wise, it opened up 11 and moved to 11.5 at 7:45 this morning. And then cash flow, we have half line value on the Rockies, 7,073 tickets in, 72% of tickets, 78% of cash on the Braves, but only a 10-cent move towards them. Then 46% of tickets and 69% of cash on the under, and it's moved up a half run. So tricky spot here. Billy Friedrich says first 5 over 6.5, even though that's a crazy number. Eddie Oiler saying that Braves Rockies is up to 12 at some books. Mike M says over here, can't trust either side. Ian Anderson could let up 5 in the first inning. And Elliot V trusts that Anderson will get his shit together. Eddie Oiler giving us a record of the Braves 11-6 versus left-handed starters. Take it away here, C-Mac, Braves Rockies.
Yeah, Ian Anderson's actually been better on the road just so far this year. I mean, in his 4 or 5 road starts, he's been better. And Gomber's been better at home. He's gotten shelled on the road. You talked about the 8 runs at Washington. I got to think he bounces back a little bit. See his home starts. He gave 4 to the Cubs, 2 to Washington, 3 to Royals, 2 to the Mets. There should be runs here. Braves now getting a little bit healthy, have started to hit lefties. They struggled early on in the year. I can't take the Rockies full game. There should be runs again today. That bullpen is just horrible. I kind of lean the Rockies first 5. If Gomber can give me something here, Rockies are plus 115, maybe even higher if we can find it. I just think Gomber's better. He's pitched better at home. That last start, he went 1 1/3, 7 hits, 8 runs, 3 walks, 1 K. Oof. That's scary to take, but this is where you want the Rockies, is at home. They're just a different team, this plus money. So I like the Braves. Rockies, sorry. Rockies first 5. I'm going to take a shot here with this plus money, plus 115.
Wow.
Let me see if I can find better.
I'll line shop as well. Let's just take a look at his splits. Yeah. 1 and 2 with a 4.13 ERA at home. It's interesting. He actually has a 299 opponent's batting average, but he seems to be able to keep the run scoring down. He's also another pitcher who's 0 like these weird splits. I don't know whether to trust them yet, and I'm not using them yet. I'm so close. I usually try to wait until NHL and NBA are over before I start using the home and road splits, just so we have enough data. But I'm thinking of maybe bringing it up a little earlier, especially because of the 2-week Olympic break for NHL. So it's probably right around now when we should start looking at them. But look at Gomber, 0-4 in the daytime, 6.75 ERA, and then 2-1 with a 3.50 ERA at night. The splits are working in your favor. And Razor Sharp Picks in the house. Razor Sharp Picks Cash at Fridays tomorrow has Penn National with stakes races at night. Wow, that does. I find that appealing. Okay, let's take a look at what we can get you here for that first 5. And I expect that Pinnacle will give us a nice number on the Rockies first 5. And we can give you, wow, that tells the tale, doesn't it? Wow. Look at the difference between the Rockies. The Rockies full game are plus 128 at Pinnacle.
Yeah.
First half plus 108. 20 cents
Wow.
worse. That tells the story there. I think you might really be onto something here. Wow. Can you find better than plus 108?
Yeah. Hold on.
Let me see what I can get
Let
over
me open
here.
a couple books.
Circa plus 108. Wow. And then over at Circa, wow. At Circa, the Rockies are even money first 5. But they're plus 124 full game.
Is he +1? Hold on.
Wow.
Let me refresh this.
Wow, that's just wild. That's just the market telling you that the Rockies first 5 they're very worried about it. But Billy Friedrich found him at plus 114 at Bookmaker. I imagine that's the best one. CMAC is on the board. Where he's deciding between the first 5 and full game in another spot, but CMAC is on the board here.
The only place the square is William Hill's at 115.
Rockies first 5, nice find, plus 115 at William Hill. All right, and that stays right in line with CMAC's average line on this show. That's at plus 113. Mike Whalen in the house. What's happening, Mike? And Eddie Oiler saying that Sonny Gray is on the 15-day IL.
What's new?
All right.
Guy ever stay healthy?
Let's move on to the final game on the board before Dutch Boy Fresh joins us for the NBA Finals. 10 p.m. Eastern. CMAC, have you moved on the NBA Finals?
No.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
New York Mets 35-17, 16-9 on the road at the LA Dodgers, 33-17, 15-8 at home. We're at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles, California. And what a few days over at Chavez Ravine. Wonder if it's a bounce back spot for them here. And let's take a look at what we are dealing with from a weather perspective. 66 Fahrenheit, 6.7 miles per hour out to right field or right center. Becomes fully right field by the end of the game and down to 4.2. Eddie Oilers has a shot with the Mets money line plus 157. Big Ragu talking about the Rockies OPS versus righties and the Braves versus lefties. Viper wants the over here. So does Eric Jones. And with the way these two teams hit righties, I get it. Let's take a look at the line history in this spot. We have the Mets opening up at plus 140. They're now up to plus 150. So a 10-cent move towards the Dodgers. From a total perspective, the total opened up at 8.5 and minus 120 to the over. It got up to minus 125. There's been a 10-cent move back to the under. So it's now sitting at 8.5 minus 115. So a 5-cent move overall towards the under. And when we go to the cash in this spot for Gonsolin versus Taijuan Walker, 5,245 tickets in. 62% of the tickets, 64% of the cash on the Dodgers, and 52% of tickets, 52% cash on the over. Taijuan Walker last out, 8-2 win at home versus the Phillies. 5 innings, 6 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 1K, 3 walks. He's 3-0 with a 2.83 ERA, 1.26 whip, 35 innings, 19 Ks, 12 walks, 2 homers. The story out of the Mets is that he's been hanging out with Scherzer, and Scherzer's been working with him, and that's changed a couple different pitches for him. Tony Gonsolin, 5-0, 1.80 ERA, 0.93 whip, 45 innings and 44K, 16 walks and 3 home runs. Last start, 6 innings, 4 hits, 2 earned runs, no homers, 7K, 0 walks, and a 3-2 win at the Diamondbacks. He looks very good. These teams smash righties. Mets 275, 763 OPS. Dodgers 255, 783 OPS. They're 1 and 2 in the league. Mets bullpen and Dodgers bullpen both being really good. I just don't really like or trust the back end of the Mets bullpen. Big Roo says, bet the Mets live. If they're down past 7 innings, all this team does is come from behind. LAV liking the Mets first 5 innings. Take it away here. CMAC last game on the board, Mets, Dodgers.
Yeah, I definitely think there's value here with the Mets. The Dodgers got to be pissed off, but even with Gonsolin, who's been so good on the mound this year, the cat man, as I call him, they shouldn't be 160 in the spot. I don't blame anyone liking the first 5 or in game here. This game is a wait and see for me if I want to take Walker. Though I do have to say he got out of so many jams. If you watch that game, his last start, he had guys all over the base pass, 3 walks to 1K, and all these starts the last 30 days he has 10 walks to 14 Ks. He's gonna get tagged soon. And usually it's on the road. I've been totally shocked. But he's done this in the past where his first half of the year is very good, and he wears down and gets shelled in the second. But he has been lights out. This is a tough spot. Dodgers obviously getting swept by the Pirates, as we've all talked about. Jose raising his flag. But yeah, I think there's value with the Mets. Just they got the Dodgers lined too high here. You talked about it. Both these teams hit righties well. They hit Walker. Dodgers hit him pretty good if you look up the numbers. So, yeah, I lean the Mets. I will let you know if I play this. I've been look at this all day here.
I mean, Walker's being really good, but it's fair to say there's a pitching advantage on the side of the Dodgers, isn't it? Or do you think that Walker's at a level right now that he's?
I still don't trust him. No, I think Dodgers have a little bit of a pitching advantage, but not much. And the Mets just keep winning.
They sure do. They sure do. Now
Gonsolin has not been hit yet, too, this year, Jimmy. He hasn't given up more than 2 runs. This guy's given you 6 just about every start, at least 5. He's been phenomenal.
He's been so good. Good. I don't know if Walker can hang. I really don't know if Walker can hang here. Like I lean towards. I guess the idea is just don't fade the Mets at this number. But Mookie Betts 2 for 5 against them. Oh, who cares what Kevin Pillar is? I guess Trey Turner. Oh man.
Yeah, 4 for 14. They're in 286 off him. Pretty good sample size. 91 at bats.
They used to freak out about Kevin Pillar up here in Toronto, right? Kevin Pillar, and I was like, did you ever have to see Devon White starfish all over the field to make catches?
Yeah.
No.
Oh yeah.
Devon White is so fast. He's so athletic.
He's so good. Yeah.
He gets to the right place all the time. You see Kevin Pillar, he's starfishing all over, diving everywhere because he's not as athletic, doesn't have the speed, doesn't have the skill of the other center fielders. So he puts himself in a situation where he's got to make all these acrobatic catches because he's not very good. And people would lose it on me. Okay.
Well, you got the last laugh there.
Well,
Pillar is. I mean, he's a Major League Baseball, for his career. But
I mean, he's had a great. I think he was a 36 round pick. I mean, he really played everything here. Okay. Do you want to move anything official here on Mets Dodgers?
No, but I'm going to look at this. You know what? I wasn't here, Jimmy, because you guys talked about it. I'm going to wait on this. I don't know if that second Yankee game gets played. I know that's later on tonight. I'm looking at the Yankees kind of get shut down here. Detmers is a fade on the road for me right now. Yankees, middle of the pack, but with those righties, if there's a low-scoring game here and that second game gets played, I'm looking at the Yankees team total. It's at 4.5. I think it was even money or plus 105. That was something I'm interested in. Usually I don't get involved in too many doubleheaders, but I don't know if it gets played. But that's on my radar for that game too.
Yeah, that makes a ton of sense. And if it's moved to tomorrow, then to bet it as soon as it's released.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay, let's review all action here in MLB before we get into NBA. Ron Crawford's spreadsheet play of the day is the Tampa Bay Rays. Matty Ice's taint play of the day is the under 8.5 in Padres Brewers. We get started here. I'm on the Tigers' first 5 in full game, and Say Hey play of the day number 1 is on the Tigers' first 5. I can't wait to watch it. It just popped off. I can't wait to watch it. Then Say Hey play of the day number 2 is the Texas Rangers' first 5 at plus 120. I'm off that game. Then the Toronto Blue Jays, I have on the -1 line. It was expensive, cost me -139. It's gone down. It's become a more reasonable spot. I imagine sharps will fade the Blue Jays at times, and they probably faded them yesterday. But I will bet the Blue Jays every day and full game. I moved on the Marlins first 5 in full game, and I'm nervous about it. Doubleheader yesterday. So I'm going to add the first 5 under 3.5, counting on Alcantara and hoping that these bats are kind of quiet.
I'm going to take the first 5 there, under 3.5.
Okay,
yeah.
So we have C-Mac adding a spot here on the board. Let's see if we can get him a nice number, better one than me. Let's see if we can get him First 5 under 3.5. Here we go. First half. Ooh, minus 115 there. What would I be getting? Sorry, let me just move this quickly to first 5. If I get the same minus 115. Wow. Pinnacle not giving a better line. Let's see what Circa is offering. And if anybody can find something better than minus 115 on the under 3.5, please let us know. Let's see what we're getting here. First 5. Total. Sorry. Minus 114. Wow.
I'll take it. Yeah, I don't think we're going to beat that. I'd have to pull up Pinnacle, but maybe they have a bookmaker. But I don't. Oh, you did? Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
First 5 under 3.5 is minus 114 for CMAC. And Big Roos has all systems go with Toronto right now. Yeah, I love it. Then Nationals, Reds. I probably should have figured it out that the over was the spot earlier. I didn't. Markets moved too quickly or too far in one towards the over. I'm gonna stay off of it. Say hey, play of the day number 3. Baltimore Orioles full game at minus 102. I'm adding the Brewers, so I've got 2 spots that I will be adding. I'm adding the Brewers full game. And CMAC, you weren't sure if you were gonna go first 5 or full game on the under in that spot. Have you decided?
No, I'm gonna message you. I can't decide if I want to go first 5 or full game there.
Okay. No worries. Do you want to, how much more time do you want, or do you want to wait till later today?
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Okay.
I'll message you. If I play it, I'll message you. I can put it on Twitter, whatever you want.
Cardinals, Cubs, we stayed off. CMAC is on the Rockies, first 5 at plus 115, and we've stayed off of Mets, Dodgers.
That game's interesting.
It's so interesting. It's going to be fun. Not as much fun as that Pirates series, knowing that Jose was losing his mind. What?
And Ryan Fitzpatrick retired.
Ryan Fitzpatrick retired. Oh, okay. Fitz magic gone. He had a pretty interesting career. And,
Yeah, he did.
Okay, I guess that's all I have to say about Fitzpatrick. Hey, he had an interesting
highest earning 7th round pick of all time. The second highest earning 7th round pick of all time is?
Second highest earning 7th round pick of all time. Man, I don't have it.
Tom Brady? Oh,
Nope.
Second. He's the 6th round pick.
Yeah, 6th.
7th. Yeah, we're going 7th here. This is a quarterback. Former Patriot, actually. A former Patriot quarterback that played a full season, sort of. A former Patriot quarterback that played a full season and played for an injured Tom Brady.
Oh,
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. Legend. Matt Castle.
Matt Castle. And Harvard quarterback says big timers. Noli Nose says bet those unders. Good luck today, fellas. Noli Nose, it was great having you on the show yesterday. We need more of you on the show. CMAC leading the way here with our MLB analysts. Beautiful stuff. And you've moved on the Rockies first 5 at plus 115, and you have moved on the first 5 under 3.5 in Giants Marlins. Thank you so much for jumping on the show, my guy. What's next for you here on the network?
Nothing today. I'll be on with Jose tomorrow. I will message you. I'm gonna do some more thinking on that Brewers game and maybe even the Mets. So
cool. Okay. I look forward to it, and I will tweet it out or retweet it, however you handle it. Is your Prize Picks video out for golf?
It is out. Check it out. Well, round 1's underway. So once everything maybe in a U.S. Open starts, I will be doing twice a week. We'll do a weekend quick video, like a Friday night after the cut, just to I was just waiting for hockey and basketball kind of to end, get a little more golf action and get that golf.
Sounds great. And you can catch CMAC tomorrow, Friday, 5:30 p.m. with Jose on Say Plays of the Day. Thank you for all your hard work, CMAC, my guy. Follow him on Twitter at Conor Mac Picks. Any last words for the Capper Sport in the show?
Oh, shout out to the chat. As I always say, the best goddamn chat in the goddamn game, hands down. Shout out to everyone. I'd love to hit everybody's name. Jimmy does that so well. But all you guys, thanks for having me. Peace.
There he is, Conor Mack in the house. It is now time to talk about the NBA Finals, and I think we are in store for a spectacular series here, and we have just the man for the job, the smoothest capper, the freshest capper in the business, coming to us from Las Vegas, Nevada. Please welcome Dutch Boy Fresh. Dutchy, my guy, what up, man?
Jimmy the motherfucking bag. Salute to you, my guy. All the real ones holding it down in the chat. You already know it's all love, man. Very excited to be here on a Thursday. NBA Finals Game 1. But, last time I was on the show, I did drop the bag. So, we got to keep it a hundo. Killed my account. Killed my, put a damage even in the record. The beautiful thing I had. Probably the worst day of the playoffs I had. So we got to have a day today, and I believe we will do that, Jim.
I do too, and we know that happens. It happens once or twice a season. Things go wrong. Your record overall is who you are. A lot of people talk about how numbers don't lie and all that stuff. Who you are overall is, and that's been unbelievable. The best we've ever had in the history of me hosting. So, bounce back spot, and what better than Game 1 of the NBA Finals? Let's set the table here. Boston Celtics at Golden State Warriors. We're at the Chase Center in San Francisco, California. This opened up at 3 and quickly moved to 3.5. At that point, I was pretty certain we would see a 4. And we have at times. It didn't open up at 3 at Bet365. I know it did at other books. At Bet365, it opened up at 3.5, juice minus 115 to the Warriors, and it quickly moved 5 cents towards the Celtics. But then on Tuesday, it moved to 4. It lasted at 4 for 12 hours and dropped to 3.5. Then yesterday at 11:50 at night, it moved back to 4. It lasted there for 2 hours before 3.5. Then this morning at 9:52 a.m., it moved to 4. It only lasted there for 40 minutes, and then it moved back to 3.5. From a totals perspective, it opened up at 211. It went all the way up to 214 this morning at 11:08 a.m., and then only lasted there for 9 minutes when it dropped back to 213.5. Let's take a look at where the cash is for this huge game. 37,513 tickets in, 76% of the tickets and the cash on the Golden State Warriors. From a total perspective, 60% of tickets on the over and 55% of cash on that over. LJ from H-Town is on the Boston Celtics first quarter. DC Sports Break says, I bought the hook. Warriors -3. Nasty Nate says, Celtics trifecta. I don't give a fucking shit what the spread is.
Surprise, surprise. Mr. Trifecta, my guy.
Astute Chaos is on the first half over 105.5. Viper is the same as me. Already has the Warriors -3.5 locked in. All right. 1-0 Tigers.
There you go.
Okay. Let's talk about the pace here instead of quick table. First off, the Celtics played at a pace of 97.26 possessions a game during the regular season. They cut it down to 95.92 during the playoffs. The Warriors have played at the exact same pace they played in the regular season. 98.74 in the regular season, 98.44 here in the playoffs. The biggest story here for me was the Warriors have the rest advantage and they're 9-0 at home in the playoffs. That was just made it too easy for me, and maybe I'm simplifying it too much. The Warriors have 123 games of NBA Finals experience. The Celtics have 0. Can the Celtics defense, which we know is very good, second in the playoffs in both field goal percentage allowed and 3-point percentage allowed, slow down the Warrior offense that's shooting 49.3% from the field and 37.9% from 3? You talk about Clay at 39.9%, Poole at 39.3%, Curry at 38%, and Wiggins at 35.3%. But maybe one of the mistakes that I'm making in the simplicity, I think, of Game 1 is that the Celtics numbers from 3 are very good. Horford, 43.2%. Grant Williams, 40.5%. Now, sure, they're only throwing up 4 a game, But that's impressive. And then you have Jaylen Brown at 38.6% and Tatum at 37.5% and scoring 27 points per game. Tease in the house. We have Tease joining us. His WNBA show will be making its debut today. We got Next, starring our man Tease, right after NBA Pub Hub. So be sure to stick around for that. He gave us a winner on the show yesterday. Atlanta Dream first half -2.5. Take it away here, Dutch.
Get it, Tease. Get it, my guy, Tease.
Celtics Warriors game 1.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I like this game, Jim. I do. Shout out to our guy, Big Ragu. Doc, I see you, my guy. Max Swelly with the kind words. I appreciate you. Brothers and Bets, my dude. Like in the third quarter Warriors, that's obviously been a beautiful thing here for a little bit. But I'm right with you, Jim. We talked about this previously. I believe my guy, DC Sports, said he had got it at 3. I got it at 3 -120. So I'm not, I just feel like 3. I don't really think this game should be close in the fourth, but I did drop the 120 on the 3. I endorsed the 4, 3.5, whatever you guys can get at this time. It comes down to shout out to our guy Ski, Mr. Profit. The Warriors, I don't believe are going to lose at home. I don't think they're going to start tonight. You said it; they're 9-0 in the playoffs. They do one thing in this playoffs, and they've handled home court, something the Celtics have not done. Which unfortunately is probably why, if you put a gun to my head, I probably have to take the Warriors in this series because I don't believe they will lose at home, and I definitely don't believe they'll lose game 1, Jim. The Celtics have not been that good in game 1, obviously, as well in the playoffs. Now, they did find that way. Probably the best game we've seen all playoffs when Tatum hit that layup in game 1 against Brooklyn. They didn't cover that game, but they did obviously win. But they're 1-2 straight up, 0-3 ATS against the spread in game 1s of the series, obviously losing to Milwaukee and Miami. In those last 2 games, they only averaged 98 points per game in those last 2, averaging 99 points overall the last 4. So struggling a little bit from the offensive end, but obviously dealing with some good defense in Miami. Now, the C's have allowed 111 points per game in game 1. So the defense hasn't been so locked in, obviously, in game 1. And it's because, let's be honest, I mean, they've had some tough series, Jim. I mean, obviously, they did handle Brooklyn. They swept them, but it was the Brooklyn Nets. You had to go against KD and Kyrie. Tough series against Milwaukee. And then, obviously, we've seen what we just seen with Miami. I know the Warriors have been sitting around for a week, but they're not a young team, man. They're a team, I believe, that's going to enjoy their rest. Could they start off slow? I could see it. So I'm not mad at anything early from the Celtics. But so I could see my man Nasty Nate hitting that first quarter and first half. A full game, forget about it, bro. That's not going to happen. The Warriors are averaging 117 points per game in game 1s of the series in the playoffs. They're 2-1 overall against the number in the game 1s, and they've won not only 9 straight at home, 11 in a row at the house. Covered the last 4 times at the house as a favorite. I just believe simply the bench will be too much for him. Jordan Poole, I believe, is going to be huge in this series. Otto Porter looks to be healthy and back, ready to rock and roll. They got contributions from Kuminga and Moody. So I believe realistically they're just too deep. Now, obviously, Derek White has played some good minutes off the bench for Boston, but after Derek White and Little Pritchard, I mean, really, what do you have? I think Jordan Poole and off the bench and a guy I'm looking at to attack tonight, Andrew Wiggins, over 15.5 points. Went over this number 5 of the last 6. I believe what happened to my guy, Jimmy. But, yeah, I believe Andrew Wiggins definitely is going to be the key to this series.
Hello there. I guess so. I don't know.
Get the fuck out of here with that jersey, man.
Oh, Dutch.
You can't wear a t-shirt underneath that bitch at least, goddammit.
Nah, you want to see these fucking lovely arms. These are built by fucking not doing shit all day, every day, capping baseball, Dutch. Now, let me tell you what's going to happen in this series, Dutch.
Right.
Let me show you what's going to happen in this series. The Celtics are a fantastic road team. They've beaten 3 teams that are better than the Warriors. The Ben Simmons Nets will give this bum-ass Warriors team a run. They're not a dynasty. They stink. Even though if Steph Curry does win this, he's better than LeBron. But it doesn't matter because the Celtics are going to win this game, win this series. Celtics in 5 or 4 games. This is going to be a dominant coronation of the Boston Celtics. The first Larry Bird winner, and Jason Tatum is going to win his first Finals MVP. And Marcus Smart is going to dominate Steph Curry, put him in a pretzel, and Derek White, newly fathered James White. Jimmy, you're a dad. You know what it's like. He's going to dominate Steph Curry, too. Nothing for Draymond Green. Al Horford's going to lock him up, too, even though he doesn't take any shots. It doesn't even matter. Celtics in 5. The Celtics are the balls.
I was only gone for 10 seconds. It was 10, maybe 8 seconds. I was maybe 6 seconds. How long was I gone? It was the worst case scenario when I came back. All I saw was Jose's just milky arms out there with no muscle definition whatsoever, screaming for I was gone for what, 5 seconds?
Yeah, I don't know why you left me with that motherfucker, bro.
I pressed the wrong button. I one wrong button, and I come back, and it's a fucking horror show.
And this fucking little guy yelling at himself.
Screaming at us. He wasn't talking to us. He was screaming in our faces.
Yeah, I'm gonna say he's screaming at himself. That motherfucker. Hey, I know one thing. It'd only be on this Wi-Fi. That motherfucker talking like that. Hey, goddamn, yeah. Lower your voice, Jose. He probably still screaming at his goddamn self. Honestly, after that, I feel more confident about my pick. With that jersey, those arms. Hey, there ain't no way Boston winning this motherfucking game tonight, bro. But I do.
Comentini says that he's watching in public and people are looking at him. That's what he said.
I believe that. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Right? Okay. And last, Jose don't get enough fucking TV time. Get the fuck out of here, bro. But yeah, man, I see the Celtics showing up in this series. I don't want to give the Celtics no love after all that bullshit I just seen right there, but I agree with a little bit of what he said. But not tonight, man. It's game 1. It's Golden State. It is what it is, man. It's going to be Bay business, and they will handle it at the house. Believe that. 3.5 is good money. Andrew Wiggins over 15.5 points, like I was saying before I was rudely interrupted by that little motherfucker. No, it's all love, Jose. But yeah, he's went over this 5 out of the last 6. And like I mentioned to you previously, Jim, I think the guy from the North, your guy, is going to be a big big problem in this series. He's going to be the X factor, in my opinion. Obviously, Steph's going to do his thing. And yeah, they play team basketball. They move the ball. So Steph is one of the most unselfish superstars in this league. I say what I will about Steph Curry, but that motherfucker is good, and he's not selfish. So if Marcus Smart wants to lock him down, then obviously they got Klay Thompson, a lot of other motherfuckers that can do their thing. So I expect Steph Curry to have a good overall statistical game, not just shooting, but obviously points and rebounds, because he's not a selfish player. And that's one of the most special things I believe about Steph Curry is he's unselfish. He doesn't care if Klay gets to shine, Jordan gets it, Draymond. They're a team basketball team, and I believe they're going to be the better team tonight. But this will be a series, Jose. It will be a series.
I was shocked when I looked at what number I'd be given for Warriors game 1 and Celtics for the series. I legitimately thought that's got to be 7 or 8 to 1. And when I saw plus 425 to make that ballsy of a call, I thought that was nuts.
Yeah.
Absolutely nuts.
Not very good. Yeah. I personally believe, I want Boston to win this series. As a fan, I would be rooting for Boston cold-hearted. I'm not really that big on these Warriors. I don't think they're a dynasty. I mean, we could get in that conversation with me and Ski. We have this conversation. If you watch NBA Pub, the Warriors aren't all that to me. But I do believe they'll find a way to get this series. I think it's a home court, and I just believe Boston, man, they've shown me the number one thing here, Jim, is Boston has so much talent, but in crunch time, they do press. And I know Jason Tatum's the alpha, but do they know that? I don't know that at times. Marcus is the guy who has the ball at the end. We've seen it plenty of times, We've seen Jason have a 10-point game. We've seen JB not be able to dribble the basketball. I almost feel like Miami lost Game 7 instead of Boston winning that. Obviously we could touch on the Jimmy Butler shooting that 3. Wasn't wasn't what I would want him to do. But hey, if he made it, then we're talking differently. But I don't believe Boston really. I think Miami kind of damn near lost that game, to be honest with you. Boston didn't really win it. Warriors, I just believe, are going to show here. And keep in mind, we got a rookie coach on the other side too. I think Steve Kerr is going to show here, put his coaching a little bit and rely a little more on his cast that he has. Because let's be honest, he's got 10 to 11 guys he could play. And Kevin Looney has found his game somehow. He against these boys, last series, the Mavs and against the Grizzlies, he showed up a little bit. But Kevin Looney is now playing like a difference maker. So I believe these Warriors have an awful lot of confidence, and they'll show that here in Game 1.
I agree. First off, is Wiggins over 15.5 points going to be official for your record?
Yeah, let's lock that in.
What was the juice associated?
I got that at -118. There's 16.5 at plus money, at even money. So I went ahead and did the -118 at 15.5.
Okay, locked in for you. And then a couple questions that I think are great. I would like to talk about the total with you, but I think that Coin might have a really interesting look here, and I'd love for you to touch on it. He says Looney under points, rebounds, and assists tonight. Dude is dealing with legit bigs in this series.
Go ahead.
Well, I guess this is legit bigs in this NBA now, but my first thought was like, and then I'm like, I guess.
Yeah.
I get the much tougher bigs than he just faced, obviously, with the Mavs bigs. But what do you think?
Al Horford plays on the perimeter a lot now, more. Yeah. And Robert Williams is more focused on rebounds and defense. So, I don't know. I could see it. I'm not literally looking. Yeah, hey, I don't really bet anything with Kevin Looney on it. I just think he's played a little bit better basketball. It could be a sharp look, though. But he's definitely found the confidence button, and he's been playing career basketball. He played career basketball last series against the Mavericks. But I'm not mad at that. Another look I was looking at real quick, Jim, was Derek White over 1.5 threes, plus 175. The one thing I am worried about a little bit with the Warriors, I believe you touched on a little bit, is the perimeter defense of the threes. Dallas had a lot of wide open shots. They just didn't make them. So I believe Boston will make those shots more at the house than on the road. Grant Williams, guys like that. But I do believe Derek White, who's went over this number the last 2 games, found some confidence, kind of big kind of name going through the props. Even little motherfucking Jose mentioned his ass. So, Derek White over 1.5 threes, plus 175. Nothing official, but that could be a look. I do believe Boston will have some chances to stay in this game from the perimeter, because Golden State has shown that they do, give up the 3-point shot. It's just a matter of them making them, and I'm going to count on Boston making more at the house than on the road.
Finally, do you agree with this market move towards the over, opening up at 211 and now at 213.5?
Honestly, playoff basketball, I don't. I think Boston will have a trouble scoring tonight. They've showed they're only averaging 99 points the last 4 games. A little under that in the Game 1 series. So I would look for Golden State to actually, contain these boys tonight. I don't think Boston's just going to give it away. I don't think Boston's going to give up 120 points. Is it over capable? Absolutely. But I think the way I look at playoff basketball, it should be a little bit slowed down, should be a little bit more physical, and it should be more of an under game. But, if these 2 teams can catch fire from the perimeter and put up 30 points in a quarter here once or twice, then that's a pretty low number. But in my opinion, I can only look the under.
We have 2 official picks from Dutch: Warriors -3.5 and -111. Wiggins over 15.5 points and -118. Let's see what official picks we have from Jose Bouquett. What do you want?
This again?
What do you want?
Hey, if he's gonna talk, Jimmy, he's got to talk it like a normal. All right, you know what I mean. I can't let no little fucking kid yell at me like that again.
Jose, what do you want to make official, my man?
Celtics money line plus 150.
Sorry, can you talk a little louder?
It's okay. Celtics money line plus 150. I'll take the series at plus 120. I think I've already got them to win the championship official with you as well. I took them before the last series. I'll take them again right here. They're plus 120 right now. I'll take them.
Okay, wait, slow down. Sorry, I've got to track all these. So sorry, can you give me from the top?
Money line, first game, no problem. I think I got a plus 150.
Okay.
I'm taking them full game or full series, I should say, plus 120 right now. And when and if they lose game 1, I'll bet them again in the series, no problem. And
so that'll be another official play tomorrow.
Yes, that'll be another one tomorrow.
Okay, all right, my guy.
And I already have Celtics to win from a previous bet officially with you, I believe, Jimmy, from the last series. And that was just to win the championship, too. I think that won the series, too. You've got a lot of taxes to do with these say-hey plays.
I I know.
Hey, and if the Celtics don't win tonight, my fault, Jim. But if the Celtics don't win tonight, my guy, if they don't cover, I'll give you that. If they don't cover, you got to start wearing a T-shirt on them jerseys until you hit the gym at least twice a week, bro.
You'll never see me in the gym twice a week. I'd rather die than do that. But no
so
problem.
then you got to put the T-shirt on under the jersey.
That's a perfect way to die, is not to go into the gym.
And that's the way I want to die. I told you I want to die with a bunch of empanadas arepas, gorging myself as skinny as shit from not going to the gym. I mean,
with you with the empanadas though. Hey, good shit on your baseball too, my guy. You've been doing lovely. It's beautiful.
Thank you. Remember, guys. As when in doubt, if the Celtics lose, it's all right because we raise it with the Pirates.
Yeah, that's right. Follow him on baseball, and I'm gonna tell you this: stick to baseball, Jose. God damn it! But yeah, good shit though.
I would expect the Rays to start annoying me, but it makes me laugh every time. For whatever reason, I find it as enjoyable as the first time I heard it. So say hey plays of the day for NBA Celtics full game plus 150, the series at plus 120. Dutch Boy Fresh Warriors -3.5 -111. I got on 3.5 at -110, and I already knew because we talked that he'd gotten a 3 at -120. But I'm comfortable. Oh, I was able to get you -111 here. Is that okay for the?
Yeah, we rock with it. Yeah.
Cool. And then he's on Wiggins over 15.5 points. There you have it. Billy Friedrich found a better line for the series at plus 122. Thank you, Billy. And HD Tube says if Boston can get dogged out by Miami in 3 games, they're going to get raw dogged in this series. That's what HD Tube says. I think that the Celtics have a better chance as the series goes on.
Yeah.
And I don't like them here.
And unfortunately, I do think, I hate to say this, but we got to be real. You know what I mean? Injuries, one guy, if Marcus, goes down, this series could be a lot shorter. Obviously, if somebody else gets beat up for the Warriors, it could be a little bit more for the Celtics. So, and we've seen Marcus not be able to stay healthy of late as well.
I love it. I love it. Nice to have Sun Dizzle in the house.
Yeah, I'm out of water, my guy.
I love it. Dutchy, thank you so much for rolling with us. And the schedule is not in our favor. Let me just see. I was hoping that we had you for one more game here of the finals. But remember, NBA Pub Hub, 4 p.m. And don't forget, WNBA will be on right after here. I need to pull out the calendar.
Yeah, I did want to mention as well, Jim. I did touch on it last week, but it's official. We're gonna get that morning sesh rocking and rolling. Me and my guy Dabby Cab, Saturday, 11 a.m. Eastern time, right before my guy Lil Jose does his baseball thing. 30-minute morning sesh. Enjoy the start of your day with us. We're gonna, smoke good, talk good, get these games going, let you know what's going on for the weekend. It's gonna be a beautiful thing. So if you fuck with Pub Sports Radio, if you fuck with Dutch Boy Fresh, if you fuck with Cabby and all of us, be sure to lock us in Saturday morning, 8 a.m. Yeah, man.
I love it. I will help with the promotion for that show. It starts this Saturday?
Yeah, this Saturday. We're going to get a rock and roll. Saturdays, Sundays, and Mondays, 3 days a week. We finish it off on Medicaid Mondays and, keep it rocking.
And we do have Dutch once more. If it gets to Game 6. Game 6 will be Thursday, June 16th. So we will have you then.
If the Celtics stay healthy, I'll be here for Game 6.
Ain't gonna be no Game 6. Celtics ain't gonna fucking let it last that long, Dutch. Sorry.
He's got the season 5, right? Oh, he's on the cloud, bro. He's on that Pirates high.
Oh, yeah. He's so high off the Pirates. Fucking sweet.
Pass that shit, Jose.
Okay. Man, Dutch, love having you on the show, my guy. Follow Dutch on Twitter. Completely selfless. Just trying to get all of us together to beat the books like he's been doing all year on the show. Follow him, Dutch Boy Fresh on Twitter. Dutchy, any last words for the Cappers supporting the show, my guy?
All right, much love, man. I'll see y'all at 1 o'clock Pacific time, NBA Pub Hub. Let's get that bread. Y'all stay fresh.
Be well, Dutchy. I did not expect Jose to say there won't be a Game 6. I thought that was the only chance we'd have for having Dutch on the show once more, as if the Celtics play well. But no, Jose doesn't believe there will be a Game 6 because the Celtics will have already cashed it. I love it. And don't forget, WNBA makes its debut here. Can we pop up the thumbnail right there? There we go. Tease in the house. Tease will be hosting our WNBA show weekdays, 4 p.m. Eastern when their game's on, and Sundays at 1 p.m. Eastern, right after Jose's Say Hey Plays of the Day. So we have lots and lots of incredible content here on Pub Sports Radio, and I can't wait to see Tease rocket. And Tease cashed his first official play here on the show. Getting us that papier. Luce's Fox says, take the Aces tonight. Ski Profit will be Tease's guest on today's WNBA show. Thank you guys so much for rolling with us. This was a very, very fun show. I enjoyed it very, very much.
Dizzy.
You're dizzy? I enjoyed it very much.
I'm dizzy, but just breathe.
All right. Let's review all action. First off, Gogster's on the first period under a half goal. So no goal in the first 10 minutes at plus 195. And Say Hey Play of the Day went with it. Sundizzle says people talk about Johnny Depp more than Griner in a Russian prison. Yeah, it's ridiculous that it's not a huge, huge story. T says that he's going for Dutch's ROI. It is the best that we have, and it's been very impressive. But Babano's NHL record, although it's not a full season, so there is an asterisk, and NHL has been very, very, very good. I'm on the Avalanche -1. I can't even remember exactly what line I got on that. Let me just check here. I don't think it hasn't changed, especially with the idea that Kemper's not going to be in net. And I bet it right after the game, and I'm very confident in it. I know that there's a lot of backers here of the Oilers, and I think that it's -120. So -175 and plus 130. I got -1 at -120. And then I'm on the first period under 2. I'm not on it yet, but I will be betting it after the show. First period under 2. That's at slight plus money, and I love that spot a lot. Then in MLB, spreadsheet play of the day is Tampa Bay Rays. The taint play of the day is the under 8.5 in Brewers Padres. And Lamont Williams, yeah, the capping was done by the chat, Lamont, beautifully. And my winning streak went to the woodshed. And I'm going to be on the Lightning here in the next game. And I know a couple cappers like Turnsey, who is very happy that I'll be on the Lightning because he's going to be on the other side and he thinks he's going to reap the benefits. But we know what Vazzy and the Lightning do after a loss. I'm on Tigers' first 5 in full game. Let me get a score update there. Here we go. Move over to MLB. And see what I'm getting here. And I have 1-1 now. Yankees up 2-0 over in the Bronx. Billy Friedrich says Lightning with the gentleman's sweep in the series. Luce's Fox like in the over in the hockey game. We'll see. Everybody's talking about defense and the public's all over the over. The Sharps are on the under. And if I can get a 7.5, I will also be on the under. But I don't think I will. So there's been another 5-cent move towards the under. So we've had 15 cents of movement towards the under since about 15 minutes before the show started. So Say Hey Play today is the first 5 Tigers as well. So we're in a little bit of danger there. And then Say Hey Play today, number 2, Rangers first 5 at plus 120. I'm on the Marlins first 5 in full game. I'm adding the under 3.5. C-Mac made the under 3.5 official. Then Say Hey Play today, number 3 is the Orioles -102. I'm adding the Brewers full game. And then C-Max on the Rockies first 5 at plus 115. And Mets, Dodgers, no action. And Dutch is on the Warriors -3.5, -111. I'm on the Warriors -3.5, -110. He also bet it at 3 at -120 as soon as it came out. But for here, the official play. He's also on Wiggins over 15.5 points at -118. L. Ryanson, FanDuel has 7.5. Yeah, I still haven't even opened up an account at FanDuel. I got to open up an account with all these others. And when my future money comes in, because I don't get my future cash till the end of the year, even if it cashes, I will have at least Pinnacle for sure. I'll put a couple K in Pinnacle and we can at least start getting the better lines at Pinnacle. And then that is our show. Say Hey Play today in NBA. Celtics full game at plus 150 in the series at plus 122. Blue Chase Fox, we remember how often the Sharps were on the Browns when they were lost every game all year. I mean, the Sharps aren't always right here, but there is a move back to the under, and that 7.5 is not going to be available for me. Blue Chase Fox says, might live bet the NHL game and look for a 6. Well, I think that's an interesting thing to say because I think that first period will be tighter. And we remember that Flames-Oilers game after the 9-6 game 1. It was 1-0 after the first, 4-4 after the second. Love you. Yeah, my man.
I wanted to see an update on your taxes. How are they going?
I caught up with everybody except for you guys. So I've got lots of work ahead of me. But I actually enjoy it. It just takes a long time. I enjoy I have set up the 3 sheets for you guys for Taint, spreadsheet, and yourself. And I expect to be ready soon. I expect to be ready very soon. So
I'm excited to either figure out I'm a horribly losing capper now, or I'm on cloud 9 with the Pirates. It's going to be interesting to see.
You will not be. No, you'll still be positive. I'm almost certain of it.
Yeah, because I mean, come on, Jim. Come on.
Good point. Good point. You were hilarious today, Jose. You
know what's funny?
What?
You know what's funny? I am exhausted now. I am so tired now, and I have not even looked at the other games yet for the baseball card, so I'm excited. But Jimmy,
yeah.
When in doubt again, Jim, I just think to myself, what would Gandhi do? What would Captain Jack Sparrow do?
I know what they
do. What would Blackbeard do?